Savior, like a shepherd, lead us. Much we need thy tender care. In thy pleasant pastures feed us. For our use thy folds prepare. Blessed Jesus, thou hast bought us, thine we are. Blessed Jesus, thou hast bought us, thine we are.
We are thine, do thou befriend us, be the guardian of our way. Keep thy flock from
Vaikra, Leviticus chapter 1. And Yahweh called unto Moshe, and spoke unto him out of the tabernacle of the assembly, saying,
Speak unto the children of Yasharel, and say unto them, If any man of you bring an offering unto Yahweh, ye shall bring your offering of the cattle, even of the herd and of the flock. If his offering be a burnt sacrifice of the herd, let him offer a male without blemish. He shall offer it of his own voluntary will, at the door of the tabernacle of the assembly before Yahweh. And he shall put his hand upon the head of the burnt offering, and it shall be accepted for him, to make an atonement for him. And he shall kill the bullock before Yahweh, and the priests, Aharon's sons, shall bring the blood, and sprinkle the blood round about upon the altar that is by the door of the tabernacle of the assembly. And he shall flay the burnt offering, and cut it into his pieces. And the sons of Aharon the priest shall put fire upon the altar, and lay the wood in order upon the fire. And the priests, Aharon's sons, shall lay the parts, the head, the fat, in order upon the wood that is on the fire, which is upon the altar. But his inwards and his legs shall he wash in water, and the priest shall burn all on the altar, to be a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire, of sweet savor unto Yahweh. And if his offering be of the flocks, namely of the sheep, or of the goats, for a burnt sacrifice, he shall bring it a male without blemish. And he shall kill it on the side of the altar northward, before Yahweh and the priest, Aharon's sons shall sprinkle his blood round about upon the altar. And he shall cut it into his pieces, with his head and his fat, and the priest shall lay them in order on the wood that is on the fire which is upon the altar. But he shall wash the inwards of the legs with water, and the priest shall bring it all, and burn it upon the altar. It is a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire, of sweet savor unto Yahweh. And if the burnt sacrifice for his offering to Yahweh be of fowls, then he shall bring his offering of turtle doves, or of young pigeons. And the priest shall bring it unto the altar, and wring off his head, and burn it on the altar, and the blood thereof shall be wrung out at the side of the altar. And he shall pluck away his crop with his feathers, and cast it beside the altar on the east part, by the place of the ashes. And he shall cleave it with the wings thereof, but shall not divide it asunder. And the priest shall burn it upon the altar, upon the wood that is upon the fire. It is a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire, of sweet savor unto Yahweh.
Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 2.
And when any will offer a meat offering unto Yahweh, his offering shall be of fine flour, and he shall pour oil upon it, and put frankincense thereon. And he shall bring it to Aharon's sons, the priests, and he shall take thereout his handful of the flour thereof, and of the oil thereof, with all the frankincense thereof. And the priest shall burn the memorial of it upon the altar, to be an offering made by fire, of a sweet savor unto Yahweh. And the remnant of the meat offering shall be Aharon's and his sons. It is a thing most holy of the offerings of Yahweh, made by fire. And if you bring an oblation of meat offering, baken in the oven, it shall be matzah cakes of fine flour, mingled with oil, or matzah wafers anointed with oil. And if your oblation be a meat offering, baken in a pan, it shall be of fine flour, unleavened, mingled with oil. You shall part it in pieces, and pour oil thereon. It is a meat offering. And if your oblation be a meat offering, baken in the frying pan, it shall be made of fine flour with oil. And you shall bring the meat offering that is made of these things unto Yahweh. And when it is presented unto the priest, he shall bring it unto the altar. And the priest shall take from the meat offering a memorial thereof, and shall burn it upon the altar. It is an offering made by fire, of sweet savor unto Yahweh. And that which is left of the meat offering shall be Aharon's and his sons. It is a thing most holy of the offerings of Yahweh made by fire. No meat offering which ye shall bring unto Yahweh shall be made with leaven, for ye shall burn no leaven, nor any honey, in any offering of Yahweh made by fire. As for the oblation of the firstfruits, ye shall offer them unto Yahweh, but they shall not be burnt on the altar for a sweet savor. And every oblation of your meat offering shall ye season with salt, neither shall ye suffer the salt of the covenant of your Elohim to be lacking from your meat offering. And all your offerings you shall offer salt. And if you offer a meat offering of your firstfruits unto Yahweh, you shall offer the meat offering of your firstfruits, green ears of grain dried by the fire, even grain beaten out of full ears. And you shall put oil upon it, and lay frankincense thereon. It is a meat offering. And the priest shall burn the memorial of it, part of the beaten grain thereof, and part of the oil thereof, with all the frankincense thereof. It is an offering made by fire unto Yahweh.
Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 3.
And if his oblation be a sacrifice of peace offering, if he offer it of the herd, whether it be a male or a female, he shall offer it without blemish before Yahweh. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of his offering, and kill it at the door of the tabernacle of the assembly. And Aharon's sons, the priests, shall sprinkle the blood upon the altar round about. And he shall offer of the sacrifice of the peace offering an offering made by fire unto Yahweh, the fat that covers the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is on them, which is by the flanks, and the caul above the liver, with the kidneys, it shall he take away. And Aharon's sons shall burn it on the altar upon the burnt sacrifice, which is upon the wood that is on the fire. It is an offering made by fire, of sweet savor unto Yahweh. And if his offering for a sacrifice of peace offering unto Yahweh be of the flock, male or female, he shall offer it without blemish. If he offer a lamb for his offering, then shall he offer before Yahweh. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of his offering, and kill it before the tabernacle of the assembly. And Aharon's sons shall sprinkle the blood thereof round about upon the altar. And he shall offer of the sacrifice of the peace offering an offering made by fire unto Yahweh, the fat thereof, and the whole rump. It shall he take off hard by the backbone, and the fat that covers the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the two kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, which is by the flanks, and the caul above the liver, and the kidneys, it shall he take away. And the priest shall burn it upon the altar. It is the food of the offering made by fire unto Yahweh. And if his offering be a goat, then he shall offer it before Yahweh. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of it, and kill it before the tabernacle of the assembly. And the sons of Aharon shall sprinkle the blood thereof upon the altar round about. And he shall offer thereof his offering, even an offering made by fire unto Yahweh, the fat that covers the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the two kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, which is by the flanks, and the caul above the liver, with the kidneys, it shall he take away. And the priest shall burn them upon the altar. It is the food of the offering, made by fire for a sweet savor. All the fat is Yahweh's. It shall be a perpetual statute for your generations throughout all your dwellings, that ye eat neither fat nor blood.
Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 4. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Speak unto the children of Yasharel, saying, If a soul shall sin through ignorance against any of the commandments of Yahweh concerning things which ought not to be done, and shall do against any of them, if the priest that is anointed do sin according to the sin of the people, then let him bring for his sin, which he has sinned, a young bullock, without blemish unto Yahweh, for a sin offering. And he shall bring the bullock unto the door of the tabernacle of the assembly before Yahweh, and shall lay his hands upon the bullock's head, and kill the bullock before Yahweh. And the priest that is anointed shall take of the bullock's blood, and bring it to the tabernacle of the assembly. And the priest shall dip his finger in the blood, and sprinkle of the blood 7 times before Yahweh, before the veil of the sanctuary. And the priest shall put some of the blood upon the horns of the altar of sweet incense before Yahweh, which is in the tabernacle of the assembly, and shall pour all the blood of the bullock at the bottom of the altar of the burnt offering, which is at the door of the tabernacle of the assembly. And he shall take off from it all the fat of the bullock for the sin offering, the fat that covers the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the two kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, which is by the flanks, and the caul above the liver, with the kidneys, it shall he take away. As it was taken off from the bullock of the sacrifice of peace offerings, and the priest shall burn them upon the altar of the burnt offering. And the skin of the bullock, and all his flesh, with his head, and with his legs, and his inwards, and his dung, even the whole bullock shall he carry forth without the camp, unto a clean place, where the ashes are poured out, and burn him on the wood with fire. Where the ashes are poured out shall he be burnt. And if the whole assembly of Yasharel sin through ignorance, and the thing be hid from the eyes of the assembly, and they have done somewhat against any of the commandments of Yahweh, concerning things which should not be done, and are guilty, when the sin which they have sinned against it is known, then the assembly shall offer a young bullock for the sin, and bring him before the tabernacle of the assembly. And the elders of the assembly shall lay their hands upon the head of the bullock before Yahweh, and the bullock shall be killed before Yahweh. And the priest that is anointed shall bring of the bullock's blood to the tabernacle of the assembly. And the priest shall dip his finger in some of the blood, and sprinkle it 7 times before Yahweh, even before the veil. And he shall put some of the blood upon the horns of the altar, which is set before Yahweh, that is in the tabernacle of the assembly, and shall pour out all the blood at the bottom of the altar of the burnt offering, which is at the door of the tabernacle of the assembly. And he shall take all his fat from him, and burn it upon the altar. And he shall do with the bullock as he did with the bullock for a sin offering, so shall he do with this. And the priest shall make an atonement for them, and it shall be forgiven them. And he shall carry forth the bullock without the camp, and burn him as he burned the first bullock. It is a sin offering for the assembly. When a ruler has sinned, and done somewhat through ignorance against any of the commandments of Yahweh, Elohiah, concerning things which should not be done, and is guilty, or if his sin, wherein he has sinned, come to his knowledge, he shall bring his offering, a kid of the goats, a male without blemish, and he shall lay his hand upon the head of the goats, and kill it in the place where they killed the burnt offering before Yahweh. It is a sin offering. And the priest shall take of the blood of the sin offering with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt offering, and shall pour out his blood at the bottom of the altar of burnt offering. And he shall burn all his fat upon the altar, as the fat of the sacrifice of peace offerings. And the priest shall make an atonement for him, as concerning his sin, and it shall be forgiven him. And if any one of the common people sin through ignorance, which he does somewhat against any of the commandments of Yahweh, concerning things which ought not to be done, and be guilty, or if his sin, which he has sinned, come to his knowledge, then he shall bring his offering, a kid of the goats, a female without blemish, for his sin which he has sinned. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of the sin offering, and slay the sin offering in the place of the burnt offering. And the priest shall take of the blood thereof with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt offering, and shall pour out all the blood thereof at the bottom of the altar. And he shall take away all the fat thereof, as the fat is taken away from off the sacrifice of peace offerings. And the priest shall burn it upon the altar for a sweet savor unto Yahweh. And the priest shall make an atonement for him, and it shall be forgiven him. And if he bring a lamb for a sin offering, he shall bring it a female without blemish. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of the sin offering, and slay it for the sin offering in the place where they killed the burnt offering. And the priest shall take of the blood of the sin offering with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt offering, and shall pour out all the blood thereof at the bottom of the altar. And he shall take away all the fat thereof, as the fat of the lamb is taken away from the sacrifice of the peace offering. And the priest shall burn them upon the altar, according to the offering made by fire unto Yahweh. And the priest shall make an atonement for his sin that he has committed, and it shall be forgiven him.
Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 5.
And if a soul sin, and hear the voice of swearing, and is a witness, whether he has seen or known of it, if he do not utter it, then he shall bear his iniquity. Or if a soul touch any unclean thing, whether it be a carcass of an unclean beast, or a carcass of unclean cattle, or the carcass of unclean creeping things, and if it be hidden from him, he also shall be unclean and guilty. Or if he touch the uncleanness of man, whatsoever uncleanness it be that a man shall be defiled withal, and it be hid from him, when he knows of it, then he shall be guilty. Or if a soul swear, pronouncing with his lips to do evil, or to do good, whatsoever it be that a man shall pronounce with an oath, and it be hid from him, when he knows of it, then he shall be guilty in one of these. And it shall be, when he shall be guilty in one of these things, that he shall confess that he has sinned in that thing. And he shall bring his trespass offering unto Yahweh, for his sin which he has sinned, a female from the flock, a lamb or a kid of the goats, for a sin offering, and the priest shall make an atonement for him concerning his sin. And if he is not able to bring a lamb, then he shall bring for his trespass which he has committed 2 turtle doves, or 2 young pigeons unto Yahweh, one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering. And he shall bring them unto the priest, who shall offer that which is for the sin offering first, and wring off his head from his neck, but shall not divide it asunder. And he shall sprinkle of the blood of the sin offering upon the side of the altar, and the rest of the blood shall be wrung out at the bottom of the altar. It is a sin offering. And he shall offer the second for a burnt offering, according to the manner. And the priest shall make an atonement for him, for his sin which he has sinned, and it shall be forgiven him. But if he be not able to bring 2 turtle doves, or 2 young pigeons, then he that sinned shall bring for his offering the 10th part of an ephah of fine flour for a sin offering. He shall put no oil upon it, neither shall he put any frankincense thereon, for it is a sin offering. Then shall he bring it to the priest, and the priest shall take his handful of it, even a memorial thereof, and burn it on the altar, according to the offerings made by fire unto Yahuwah. It is a sin offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him, as touching his sin, that he has sinned in one of these, and it shall be forgiven him, and the remnant shall be the priest's, as a meat offering.
And Yahuwah spoke unto Moshe, saying,
If a soul commit a trespass, and sin through ignorance, in the holy things of Yahuwah, then he shall bring for his trespass unto Yahuwah a ram without blemish, out of the flocks, with your estimation by shekels of silver, after the shekel of the sanctuary, for a trespass offering. And he shall make the amends for the harm that he has done in the holy thing, and shall add the 5th part thereto, and give it unto the priest. And the priest shall make an atonement for him with the ram of the trespass offering, and it shall be forgiven him. And if a soul sin, and commit any of these things which are forbidden to be done by the commandment of Yahuwah, though he knew it not, yet is he guilty, and shall bear his iniquity. And he shall bring a ram without blemish out of the flock, with your estimation, for a trespass offering, unto the priest. And the priest shall make an atonement for him concerning his ignorance, wherein he erred, and knew it not, and it shall be forgiven him. It is a trespass offering. He has certainly trespassed against Yahuwah.
Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 6. And Yahuwah spoke unto Moshe, saying,
If a soul sin, and commit a transgression against Yahuwah, and lie unto his neighbor, in that which was delivered him to keep, or in fellowship, or in a thing taken away by violence, or has deceived his neighbor, or have found that which was lost, and lies concerning it, and swears falsely, in any of these that a man does, sinning therein, then it shall be, because he has sinned and is guilty, that he shall restore that which he took violently away, or the thing which he has deceitfully gotten, or that which was delivered him to keep, or the lost thing which he found, or all that which he has sworn falsely, he shall even restore it in the principal, and shall add the 5th part more thereto, and give it unto him to whom it appertains, in the day of his trespass offering. And he shall bring his trespass offering unto Yahuwah, a ram without blemish out of the flock, with your estimation for a trespass offering unto the priest. And the priest shall make an atonement for him before Yahuwah, and it shall be forgiven him for anything of all that he has done in trespass therein.
And Yahuwah spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Command Aaron and his sons, saying, This is the Torah of the burnt offering. It is the burnt offering because of the burning upon the altar all night unto the morning, and the fire of the altar shall be burning in it. And the priest shall put on his linen garment, and his linen breeches shall he put upon his flesh, and take up the ashes which the fire has consumed with the burnt offering on the altar, and he shall put them beside the altar. And he shall put off his garments, and put on other garments, and carry forth the ashes without the camp unto a clean place. And the fire upon the altar shall be burning in it. It shall not be put out. And the priest shall burn wood on it every morning, and lay the burnt offering in order upon it, and he shall burn thereon the fat of the peace offerings. The fire shall ever be burning upon the altar. It shall never go out. And this is the Torah of the meat offering. The sons of Aharon shall offer it before Yahuwah, before the altar. And he shall take of it his handful of the flour of the meat offering, and of the oil thereof, and all the frankincense which is upon the meat offering, and shall burn it upon the altar for a sweet savor, even the memorial of it unto Yahuwah. And the remainder thereof shall Aharon and his sons eat, with matzah, unleavened bread, shall it be eaten in the holy place, in the court of the tabernacle of the assembly, they shall eat it. It shall not be baken with leaven. I have given it unto them for their portion of my offering made by fire. It is most holy, as is the sin offering, and as the trespass offering. All the males among the children of Aharon shall eat of it. It shall be a statute forever in your generations, concerning the offerings of Yahweh made by fire. Everyone that touches them shall be holy.
And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
This is the offering of Aharon and his sons, which they shall offer unto Yahweh in the day when he is anointed. The 10th part of an ephah of fine flour for a meat offering perpetual, half of it in the morning, and half thereof at night. In a pan it shall be made with oil, and when it is baken, you shall bring it in, and the baken pieces of the meat offering shall you offer for a sweet savor unto Yahweh. And the priest of his sons, that is anointed in his stead, shall offer it. It is a statute forever unto Yahweh. It shall be wholly burnt. For every meat offering for the priest shall be wholly burnt. It shall not be eaten.
And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Speak unto Aharon and to his sons, saying, This is the Torah of the sin offering. In the place where the burnt offering is killed, shall the sin offering be killed before Yahweh. It is most holy. The priest that offers it for sin shall eat it. In the holy place shall it be eaten, in the court of the tabernacle of the assembly. Whatsoever shall touch the flesh thereof shall be holy. And when there is sprinkled of the blood thereof upon any garment, you shall wash that whereon it was sprinkled in the holy place. But the earthen vessel wherein it was sodden shall be broken. And if it be sodden in a brazen pot, it shall be both scoured and rinsed in water. All the males among the priests shall eat thereof. It is most holy. And no sin offering, whereof any of the blood is brought into the tabernacle of the assembly, to reconcile withal in the holy place, shall be eaten. It shall be burnt in the fire.
Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 7.
Likewise, this is the Torah of the trespass offering. It is most holy. In the place where they kill the burnt offering, shall they kill the trespass offering, and the blood thereof shall he sprinkle round about upon the altar. And he shall offer it of all the fat thereof, the rump, the fat that covers the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is on them, which is by the flanks, and the caul that is above the liver, with the kidneys it shall he take away. And the priest shall burn them upon the altar for an offering made by fire unto Yahweh. It is a trespass offering. Every male among the priests shall eat thereof. It shall be eaten in the holy place. It is most holy. As the sin offering is, so is the trespass offering. There is one Torah for them. The priest that makes atonement therewith shall have it. And the priest that offers any man's burnt offering, even the priest shall have to himself the skin of the burnt offering which he has offered. And all the meat offering that is baken in the oven, and all that is dressed in the frying pan, and in the pan, shall be the priest's that offer it. And every meat offering mingled with oil, and dry, shall all the sons of Aharon have, one as much as another. And this is the Torah of the sacrifice of peace offerings, which he shall offer unto Yahweh. If he offer it for thanksgiving, then he shall offer with the sacrifice of thanksgiving matzah, unleavened cakes, mingled with oil, and matzah wafers, anointed with oil, and cakes mingled with oil, of fine flour, fried. Besides the cakes, he shall offer for his offering hametz, leavened bread, with the sacrifice of thanksgiving of his peace offerings. And of it he shall offer one out of the whole oblation, for a heave offering unto Yahweh, and it shall be the priest that sprinkles the blood of the peace offerings. And the flesh of the sacrifice of his peace offerings for thanksgiving shall be eaten the same day that it is offered. He shall not leave any of it until the morning. But if the sacrifice of his offering be a vow, or a voluntary offering, it shall be eaten the same day that he offers his sacrifice. On the morrow also the remainder of it shall be eaten. But the remainder of the flesh of the sacrifice on the 3rd day shall be burnt with fire. And if any of the flesh of the sacrifice of his peace offerings be eaten at all on the 3rd day, It shall not be accepted, neither shall it be imputed unto him that offers it. It shall be an abomination, and the soul that eats of it shall bear his iniquity. And the flesh that touches any unclean thing shall not be eaten. It shall be burnt with fire. And as for the flesh, all that be clean shall eat thereof. But the soul that eats of the flesh of the sacrifice of peace offerings that pertain unto Yahweh, having his uncleanness upon him, even that soul shall be cut off from his people. Moreover, the soul that shall touch any unclean thing, as the uncleanness of man, or any unclean beast, or any abominable unclean thing, and eat of the flesh of the sacrifice of peace offerings, which pertain unto Yahweh, even that soul shall be cut off from his people.
And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Speak unto the children of Yasharel, saying, Ye shall eat no manner of fat, of ox, or of sheep, or of goat, and the fat of the beast that dies of itself, and the fat of that which is torn with beast, may be used in any other use, but ye shall in no wise eat of it. For whosoever eats the fat of the beast, of which men offer an offering made by fire unto Yahweh, even the soul that eats it shall be cut off from his people. Moreover, ye shall eat no manner of blood, whether it be of fowl or of beast, in any of your dwellings. Whatsoever soul it be that eats any manner of blood, even that soul shall be cut off from his people.
And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Speak unto the children of Yasharel, saying, He that offers the sacrifice of his peace offerings unto Yahweh shall bring his oblation unto Yahweh of the sacrifice of his peace offerings. His own hand shall bring the offerings of Yahweh made by fire. The fat with the breast it shall he bring, that the breast may be waved for a wave offering before Yahweh. And the priest shall burn the fat upon the altar, but the breast shall be Aharon's and his sons'. And the right shoulder shall ye give unto the priest for a heave offering of the sacrifices of your peace offerings. He among the sons of Aharon that offers the blood of the peace offerings and the fat shall have the right shoulder for his part. For the wave breast and the heave shoulder have I taken of the children of Yasharel from off the sacrifices of their peace offerings, and have given them unto Aharon the priest, and unto his sons by a statute forever, from among the children of Yasharel.
This is the portion of the anointing of Aharon, and of the anointing of his sons, out of the offerings of Yahweh made by fire, in the day when he presented them to minister unto Yahweh in the priest's office, which Yahweh commanded to be given them of the children of Yasharel, in the day that he anointed them, by a statute forever throughout their generations. This is the Torah of the burnt offering, of the meat offering, and of the sin offering, and of the trespass offering, and of the consecrations, and of the sacrifice of the peace offerings, which Yahweh commanded Moshe in Mount Sinai, in the day that he commanded the children of Yasharel to offer their oblations unto Yahweh in the wilderness of Sinai. Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 8. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Take Aharon and his sons with him, and the garments, and the anointing oil, and a bullock for the sin offering, and 2 rams, and a basket of matzah, unleavened bread, and gather all the assembly together unto the door of the tabernacle of the assembly.
And Moshe did as Yahweh commanded him, and the assembly was gathered together unto the door of the tabernacle of the assembly. And Moshe said unto the assembly, This is the thing which Yahweh commanded to be done. And Moshe brought Aharon and his sons, and washed them with water. And he put upon him the coat, and girded him with the belt, and clothed him with the robe, and put the ephod upon him. And he girded him with the belt of the ephod, and bound it unto him therewith. And he put the breastplate upon him. Also he put in the breastplate the Urim and the Tumim. And he put the turban upon his head. Also upon the turban, even upon his forefront, did he put the golden plate, the holy crown, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And Moshe took the anointing oil, and anointed the tabernacle, and all that was therein, and sanctified them. And he sprinkled thereof upon the altar 7 times, and anointed the altar and all his vessels, both the laver and his foot, to sanctify them. And he poured of the anointing oil upon Aharon's head, and anointed him, to sanctify him. And Moshe brought Aharon's sons, and put coats upon them, and girded them with belts, and put bonnets upon them, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And he brought the bullock for the sin offering, and Aharon and his sons laid their hands upon the head of the bullock for the sin offering, and he slew it. And Moshe took the blood, and put it upon the horns of the altar round about with his finger, and purified the altar, and poured the blood at the bottom of the altar, and sanctified it, to make reconciliation upon it. And he took all the fat that was upon the inwards, and the caul above the liver, and the 2 kidneys, and their fat, and Moshe burned it upon the altar. But the bullock, and his hide, and his flesh, and his dung, he burnt with fire without the camp, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And he brought the ram for the burnt offering, and Aharon and his sons laid their hands upon the head of the ram, and he killed it. And Moshe sprinkled the blood upon the altar round about. And he cut the ram into pieces, and Moshe burnt the head, and the pieces, and the fat. And he washed the inwards and the legs in water, and Moshe burnt the whole ram upon the altar. It was a burnt sacrifice for a sweet savor, and an offering made by fire unto Yahweh, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And he brought the other ram, the ram of consecration, and Aharon and his sons laid their hands upon the head of the ram, and he slew it. And Moshe took of the blood of it, and put it upon the tip of Aharon's right ear, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot. And he brought Aharon's sons, and Moshe put of the blood upon the tip of their right ear, and upon the thumbs of their right hands, and upon the great toes of their right feet. And Moshe sprinkled the blood upon the altar round about. And he took the fat, and the rump, and the fat that was upon the inwards, and the caul above the liver, and the 2 kidneys, and their fat, and the right shoulder. And out of the basket of matzah that was before Yahweh, he took 1 matzah cake, and a cake of oiled bread, and 1 wafer, and put them on the fat, and upon the right shoulder. And he put all upon Aharon's hands, and upon his sons' hands, and waved them for a wave offering before Yahweh. And Moshe took them from off their hands, and burnt them on the altar upon the burnt offering. They were consecrations for a sweet savor. It is an offering made by fire unto Yahweh. And Moshe took the breast, and waved it for a wave offering before Yahweh. For of the ram of consecration it was Moshe's part, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And Moshe took of the anointing oil, and of the blood which was upon the altar, and sprinkled it upon Aharon and his garments, and upon his sons, and upon his sons' garments with him, and sanctified Aharon and his garments, and his sons' garments with him. And Moshe said unto Aharon and to his sons, Boil the flesh at the door of the tabernacle of the assembly, and there eat it, with the bread that is in the basket of consecrations, as I commanded, saying, Aharon and his sons shall eat it. And that which remains of the flesh and of the bread shall ye burn with fire. And ye shall not go out of the door of the tabernacle of the assembly in 7 days, until the days of your consecration be at an end. For 7 days shall he consecrate you. As he has done this day, so Yahweh has commanded to do, to make an atonement for you. Therefore shall ye abide at the door of the tabernacle of the assembly day and night 7 days, and guard the watch of Yahweh, that ye die not. For so I am commanded. So Aharon and his sons did all the things which Yahweh commanded by the hand of Moshe. Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 9. And it came to pass on the 8th day that Moshe called Aharon and his sons and the elders of Yisrael. And he said unto Aharon, Take a young calf for a sin offering, and a ram for a burnt offering, without blemish, and offer them before Yahweh. And unto the children of Yisrael you shall speak, saying, Take ye a kid of the goats for a sin offering, and a calf and a lamb, both of the first year, without blemish, for a burnt offering. Also a bullock and a ram for peace offerings, to sacrifice before Yahweh. and a meat offering mingled with oil. For today Yahweh will appear unto you. And they brought which Moshe commanded before the tabernacle of the assembly. And all the assembly drew near and stood before Yahweh. And Moshe said, This is the thing which Yahweh commanded that ye should do, and the glory of Yahweh shall appear unto you. And Moshe said unto Aharon, Go unto the altar, and offer your sin offering, and your burnt offering, and make an atonement for yourself and for the people, and offer the offering of the people, and make an atonement for them, as Yahweh commanded. Aharon therefore went unto the altar, and slew the calf of the sin offering, which was for himself. And the sons of Aharon brought the blood unto him, and he dipped his finger in the blood, and put it upon the horns of the altar, and poured out the blood at the bottom of the altar. But the fat, and the kidneys, and the caul above the liver of the sin offering he burnt upon the altar, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And the flesh and the hide he burnt with fire without the camp. And he slew the burnt offering, and Aharon's sons presented unto him the blood, which he sprinkled round about upon the altar. And they presented the burnt offering unto him, with the pieces thereof, and the head, and he burnt them upon the altar. And he did wash the inwards and the legs, and burnt them upon the burnt offering on the altar. And he brought the people's offering, and took the goat, which was the sin offering for the people, and slew it, and offered it for sin as the first. And he brought the burnt offering, and offered it according to the manner. And he brought the meat offering, and took a handful thereof, and burnt it upon the altar, beside the burnt sacrifice of the morning. He slew also the bullock and the ram for a sacrifice of peace offerings, which was for the people. And Aharon's sons presented unto him the blood, which he sprinkled upon the altar round about. And the fat of the bullock and of the ram, the rump, and that which covers the inwards, and the kidneys, and the caul above the liver, and they put the fat upon the breasts, and he burnt the fat upon the altar. And the breasts and the right shoulder Aharon waved for a wave offering before Yahweh, as Moshe commanded. And Aharon lifted up his hand toward the people, and blessed them, and came down from offering of the sin offering, and the burnt offering, and peace offerings. And Moshe and Aharon went into the tabernacle of the assembly, and came out, and blessed the people. And the glory of Yahweh appeared unto all the people. And there came a fire out from before Yahweh, and consumed upon the altar the burnt offering and the fat, which when all the people saw, they shouted and fell on their face. Vaikra, Leviticus chapter 10. And Nadab and Abihu, the sons of Aharon, took either of them his censer, and put fire therein, and put incense thereon, and offered strange fire before Yahweh, which he commanded them not. And there went out fire from Yahweh, and devoured them, and they died before Yahweh. Then Moshe said unto Aharon, This is that Yahweh spoke, saying, I will be sanctified in them that come nigh me, and before all the people I will be glorified. And Aharon held his peace. And Moshe called Mishael and Elishaphan, the sons of Uzziel, the uncle of Aharon, and said unto them, Come near, carry your brethren from before the sanctuary out of the camp. So they went near, and carried them in their coats out of the camp, as Moshe had said. And Moshe said unto Aharon, and unto Eleazar, and unto Ithamar his sons, Uncover not your heads, neither rend your clothes, lest ye die, and lest the wrath come upon all the people. But let your brethren, the whole house of Yashrael, bewail the burning which Yahweh has kindled. And ye shall not go out from the door of the tabernacle of the assembly, lest ye die. For the anointing oil of Yahweh is upon you. And they did according to the word of Moshe. And Yahweh spoke unto Aharon, saying,
Do not drink wine, nor strong drink, you nor your sons with you, when ye go into the tabernacle of the assembly, lest ye die. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations. and that ye may put difference between holy and unholy, and between unclean and clean, and that ye may teach the children of Yasharel all the statutes which Yahuwah has spoken unto them by the hand of Moshe.
And Moshe spoke unto Elaharon, and unto Eleazar, and unto Ithamar, his sons that were left. Take the meat offering that remains of the offerings of Yahweh made by fire, and eat it without leaven beside the altar, for it is most holy. And ye shall eat it in the holy place, because it is your due, and your sons' due, of the sacrifices of Yahweh made by fire. For so I am commanded. And the wave breast and the heave shoulder shall ye eat in a clean place, you and your sons and your daughters with you, for they be your due, and your sons' due, which are given out of the sacrifices of peace offerings of the children of Yashrael. The heave shoulder and the wave breast shall they bring with the offerings made by fire of the fat, to wave it for a wave offering before Yahweh. And it shall be yours and your sons with you by a statute forever, as Yahweh has commanded. And Moshe diligently sought the goat of the sin offering, and behold, it was burnt. And he was angry with Eleazar and Ithamar, the sons of Aharon, which were left alive, saying, Wherefore have ye not eaten the sin offering in the holy place, seeing it is most holy? And Elohim has given it to you to bear the iniquity of the assembly, to make an atonement for them before Yahweh. Behold, the blood of it was not brought in within the holy place. Ye should indeed have eaten it in the holy place, as I commanded. And Aharon said unto Moshe,
Behold, this day have they offered their sin offering and their burnt offering before Yahuwah, and such things have befallen me. And if I had eaten the sin offering today, should it have been accepted in the sight of Yahuwah?
And when Moshe heard that, he was content. Vaikra, Leviticus chapter 11. And Yahweh spoke unto El Moshe, and to El Aharon, saying unto them,
Speak unto the children of Yasharel, saying, These are the beasts which ye shall eat among all the beasts that are on the earth. Whatsoever parts the hoof, and is cloven-footed, and chews the cud, among the beasts, that shall ye eat. Nevertheless, these shall ye not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that divide the hoof. As the camel, because he chews the cud, but divides not the hoof, he is unclean unto you. And the coney, because he chews the cud, but divides not the hoof, he is unclean unto you. And the hare, because he chews the cud, but divides not the hoof, he is unclean unto you. And the swine, though he divide the hoof, and be cloven-footed, yet he chews not the cud, he is unclean to you. Of their flesh shall ye not eat, and their carcass shall ye not touch, they are unclean to you. These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters. Whatsoever has fins and scales in the waters, in the seas, and in the rivers, them shall you eat. And all that have not fins and scales in the seas and in the rivers, of all that move in the waters, and of any living thing which is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you. They shall be even an abomination unto you. Ye shall not eat of their flesh, but ye shall have their carcasses in abomination. Whatsoever has no fins nor scales in the water, that shall be an abomination unto you. And these are they which ye shall have an abomination among the fowls. They shall not be eaten. They are an abomination, the eagle, the ossifrage, and the osprey, and the vulture, and the kite after his kind, every raven after his kind, and the owl, and the nighthawk, and the cuckoo, and the hawk after his kind, and the little owl, and the cormorant, and the great owl, and the swan, and the pelican, and the gier eagle, and the stork, and the heron after her kind, and the lapwing, and the bat. All fowls that creep going upon all four shall be an abomination unto you. Yet these may ye eat of every flying creeping thing that goes upon all four, which have legs above their feet, to leap withal upon the earth. Even these of them ye may eat, the locust after his kind, and the bald locust after his kind, and the beetle after his kind, and the grasshopper after his kind. But all other flying creeping things, which have 4 feet, shall be an abomination unto you. And for these ye shall be unclean. Whosoever touches the carcass of them shall be unclean until the evening. And whosoever bears aught of the carcass of them shall wash his clothes, and be unclean until the evening. The carcass of every beast which divides the hoof, and is not cloven-footed, nor chews the cud, are unclean unto you. Every one that touches them shall be unclean. And whatsoever goes upon his paws, among all manner of beasts that go on all fours, those are unclean unto you. Whoso touches their carcass shall be unclean until the evening. And he that bears the carcass of them shall wash his clothes, and be unclean unto the evening. They are unclean unto you. These also shall be unclean unto you. Among the creeping things that creep upon the earth, the weasel, the mouse, and the tortoise, after his kind, and the ferret, and the chameleon, and the lizard, and the snail, and the mole, these are unclean to you among all that creep. Whosoever touches them, when they be dead, shall be unclean until the evening. And upon whatsoever any of them, when they are dead, does fall, it shall be unclean, whether it be any vessel of wood, or raiment, or skin, or sack, whatsoever vessel it be, wherein any work is done, it must be put into water, and it shall be unclean until the evening, so it shall be cleansed. And every earthen vessel, where into any of them that falls, whatsoever is in it shall be unclean, and ye shall break it. Of all meat which may be eaten, that on which such water comes shall be unclean, and all drink that may be drunk in every vessel shall be unclean. And everything whereupon any part of their carcass falls shall be unclean, whether it be oven or range for pots, they shall be broken down, for they are unclean, and shall be unclean unto you. Nevertheless, a fountain or pit, wherein there is plenty of water, shall be clean, but that which touches their carcass shall be unclean. And if any part of their carcass falls upon any sowing seed which is to be sown, it shall be clean. But if any water be put upon the seed, and any part of their carcass fall thereon, it shall be unclean unto you. And if any beast of which ye may eat die, he that touches the carcass thereof shall be unclean until the evening. And he that eats of the carcass of it shall wash his clothes, and be unclean until the evening. He also that bears the carcass of it shall wash his clothes, and be unclean until the evening. And every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth shall be an abomination. It shall not be eaten. Whatsoever goes upon the belly, and whatsoever goes upon all fours, or whatsoever has more feet among all creeping things that creep upon the earth, them shall ye not eat, for they are an abomination. Ye shall not make yourselves abominable with any creeping thing that creeps, neither shall ye make yourselves unclean with them, that ye should be defiled thereby. For I am Yahuwah Elohim. Ye shall therefore sanctify yourselves, and ye shall be holy, for I am holy. Neither shall ye defile yourselves with any manner of creeping thing that creeps upon the earth. For I am Yahuwah, that brings you up out of the land of Mitzrayim, to be your Elohim. Ye shall therefore be holy, for I am holy. This is the Torah of the beasts, and of the fowl, and of every living creature that moves in the waters, and of every creature that creeps upon the earth, to make a difference between the unclean and the clean, and between the beast that may be eaten and the beast that may not be eaten.
Vaikra, Leviticus chapter 12. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Speak unto the children of Yasharel, saying, If a woman have conceived seed, and born a male child, then she shall be unclean 7 days. According to the days of the separation for her infirmity, shall she be unclean. And in the 8th day, the flesh of his foreskin shall be circumcised. And she shall then continue in the blood of her purifying 33 days. She shall touch no hallowed thing, nor come into the sanctuary, until the days of her purifying be fulfilled. But if she bear a female child, then she shall be unclean 2 weeks, as in her separation, and she shall continue in the blood of her purifying 66 days. And when the days of her purifying are fulfilled, for a son or for a daughter, she shall bring a lamb of the first year for a burnt offering, and a young pigeon or a turtle dove for a sin offering, unto the door of the tabernacle of the assembly, unto the priest, who shall offer it before Yahuwah, and make an atonement for her, and she shall be cleansed from the issue of her blood. This is the Torah for her that has borne a male or a female. And if she be not able to bring a lamb, then she shall bring 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, the one for the burnt offering, and the other for a sin offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for her, and she shall be clean.
Vaikra, Leviticus chapter 13. And Yahweh spoke unto El Moshe and El Aharon, saying,
When a man shall have in the skin of his flesh a rising, a scab, or a bright spot, and it be in the skin of his flesh, like the plague of leprosy, then he shall be brought unto El Aharon the priest, or unto one of his sons the priests. And the priest shall look on the plague in the skin of the flesh, and when the hair in the plague is turned white, and the plague in sight be deeper than the skin of his flesh, it is a plague of leprosy, and the priest shall look on him and pronounce him unclean. If the bright spot be white in the skin of his flesh, and in sight be not deeper than the skin, and the hair thereof be not turned white, then the priest shall shut up him that has the plague 7 days. And the priest shall look on him the 7th day, and behold, if the plague in his sight be at a stay, and the plague spread not in the skin, then the priest shall shut him up 7 days more. And the priest shall look on him again the 7th day, and behold, if the plague be somewhat dark, and the plague spread not in the skin, the priest shall pronounce him clean. It is but a scab, and he shall wash his clothes and be clean. But if the scab spread much abroad in the skin, after that he has been seen of the priest for his cleansing, he shall be seen of the priest again. And if the priest see that, behold, the scab spreads in the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a leprosy. When the plague of leprosy is in a man, then he shall be brought unto the priest. And the priest shall see him, and behold, if the rising be white in the skin, and it have turned the hair white, and there be quick raw flesh in the rising, it is an old leprosy in the skin of his flesh, and the priest shall pronounce him unclean, and shall not shut him up, for he is unclean. And if a leprosy break out abroad in the skin, and the leprosy cover all the skin of him that has the plague from his head even to his foot, wheresoever the priest looks, then the priest shall consider, and behold, if the leprosy have covered all his flesh, he shall pronounce him clean that has the plague. It is all turned white, he is clean. But when raw flesh appears in him, he shall be unclean. And the priest shall see the raw flesh and pronounce him to be unclean. For the raw flesh is unclean. It is a leprosy. Or if the raw flesh turn again, and be changed unto white, he shall come unto the priest. And the priest shall see him, and behold, if the plague be turned unto white, then the priest shall pronounce him clean that has the plague. He is clean. The flesh also, in which even in the skin thereof was a boil, and is healed. And in the place of the boil, where there be a white rising, or a bright spot, white, and somewhat reddish, and it be showed to the priest. And if, when the priest sees it, behold, it be in sight lower than the skin, and the hair thereof be turned white, the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a plague of leprosy, broken out of the boil. But if the priest look on it, and behold, there be no white hairs therein, and if it be not lower than the skin, but be somewhat dark, then the priest shall shut him up 7 days. And if it spread much abroad in the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a plague. But if the bright spot stay in his place, and spread not, it is a burning boil, and the priest shall pronounce him clean. Or if there be any flesh in the skin whereof there is a hot burning, and the quick flesh that burns have a white bright spot, somewhat reddish or white, then the priest shall look upon it, and behold, if the hair in the bright spot be turned white, and it be in sight deeper than the skin, it is a leprosy broken out of the burning, wherefore the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is the plague of leprosy. But if the priest look on it, and behold, there be no white hair in the bright spot, and it be no lower than the other skin, but be somewhat dark, then the priest shall shut him up 7 days. And the priest shall look upon him the 7th day, and if it be spread much abroad in the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is the plague of leprosy. And if the bright spot stay in his place, and spread not in the skin, but it be somewhat dark, it is a rising of the burning, and the priest shall pronounce him clean, for it is an inflammation of the burning. If a man or woman have a plague upon the head or the beard, then the priest shall see the plague, and behold, if it be in sight deeper than the skin, and there be in it a yellow thin hair, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a dry skull, even a leprosy upon the head or beard. And if the priest shall look on the plague of the skull, and behold, it be not in sight deeper than the skin, and that there is no black hair in it, then the priest shall shut up him that has the plague of the skull 7 days. And in the 7th day the priest shall look on the plague, and behold, if the skull spread not, and there be in it no yellow hair, and the skull be not in sight deeper than the skin, he shall be shaven, and the skull shall he not shave, and the priest shall shut him up that has the skull 7 days more. And in the 7th day the priest shall look on the skull, and behold, if the skull be not spread in the skin, nor be in sight deeper than the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him clean, and he shall wash his clothes and be clean. But if the skull spread much in the skin after his cleansing, then the priest shall look on him, and behold, if the skull be spread in the skin, the priest shall not seek for yellow hair, he is unclean. But if the skull be in his sight at a stay, and that there is a black hair grown up therein, the skull is healed, he is clean, and the priest shall pronounce him clean. If a man also or a woman have in the skin of their flesh bright spots, even white bright spots, then the priest shall look, and behold, if the bright spot in the skin of their flesh be darkish white, it is a freckled spot that grows in the skin, he is clean. And the man whose hair is fallen off his head, he is bald, yet is he clean. And he that has his hair fallen off from the part of his head towards his face, he is forehead bald, yet he is clean. And if there be in the bald head or bald forehead a white reddish sore, it is a leprosy sprung up in his bald head or his bald forehead. Then the priest shall look upon it, and behold, if the rising of the sore be white reddish in the bald head or in his bald forehead, as the leprosy appears in the skin of the flesh, he is a leprous man, he is unclean. The priest shall pronounce him utterly unclean, his plague is in his head. And the leper in whom the plague is, his clothes shall be rent, and his head bare, and he shall put a covering upon his upper lip, and shall cry, unclean, unclean. All the days wherein the plague shall be in him shall he be defiled. He is unclean, he shall dwell alone, without the camp shall his habitation be. The garment also that the plague of leprosy is in, whether it be a woolen garment or a linen garment, whether it be in the warp, the woof of linen, or of woolen, whether in a skin or anything made of skin. And if the plague be greenish or reddish in the garment or in the skin, either in the warp or in the woof or in anything of skin, it is a plague of leprosy, and shall be showed unto the priest. And the priest shall look upon the plague, and shut up it that has the plague 7 days. And he shall look on the plague on the 7th day. If the plague be spread in the garment, either in the warp, or in the woof, or in a skin, or in any work that is made of skin, the plague is a fretting leprosy, it is unclean. He shall therefore burn that garment, whether warp or woof, in woolen or in linen, anything of skin wherein the plague is, for it is a fretting leprosy, it shall be burnt in the fire. And if the priest shall look, and behold, the plague be not spread in the garment, either in the warp or in the woof, or in anything of skin, then the priest shall command that they wash the thing wherein the plague is, and he shall shut it up 7 days more. And the priest shall look on the plague after that it is washed, and behold, if the plague have not changed his color, and the plague be not spread, it is unclean. You shall burn it in the fire. It is a fret inward, whether it be bare within or without. And if the priest look, and behold the plague be somewhat dark after the washing of it, then he shall rend it out of the garment, or out of the skin, or out of the warp, or out of the woof. And if it appear still in the garment, either in the warp or in the woof, or in anything of skin, it is a spreading plague. You shall burn that wherein the plague is with fire. And the garment, either warp or woof, or whatsoever thing of skin it be, which you shall wash, if the plague be departed from them, then it shall be washed the 2nd time, and shall be clean. This is the Torah of the plague of leprosy, in a garment of woolen or linen, either in warp or woof, or in anything of skins, to pronounce it clean, or to pronounce it unclean.
Vaikra, Leviticus chapter 14. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
This shall be the Torah of the leper in the day of his cleansing. He shall be brought unto the priest, and the priest shall go forth out of the camp. And the priest shall look, and behold, if the plague of leprosy be healed in the leper, then shall the priest command to take for him that is to be cleansed 2 birds alive and clean, and cedar wood, and scarlet, and hyssop. And the priest shall command that one of the birds be killed in an earthen vessel over running water. As for the living bird, he shall take it, and the cedar wood, and the scarlet, and the hyssop, and shall dip them, and the living bird in the blood of the bird that was killed over the running water. And he shall sprinkle upon him that is to be cleansed from the leprosy 7 times, and shall pronounce him clean, and shall let the living bird loose into the open field. And he that is to be cleansed shall wash his clothes, and shave off all his hair, and wash himself in water, that he may be clean. And after that he shall come into the camp, and shall tarry abroad out of his tent 7 days. But it shall be on the 7th day that he shall shave all his hair off his head, and his beard, and his eyebrows, even all his hair he shall shave off, and shall wash his clothes. Also shall he wash his flesh in water, and shall be clean. And on the 8th day he shall take 2 he-lambs without blemish, and 1 ewe-lamb of the first year without blemish, and 3/10 deal of fine flour for a meat offering, mingled with oil, and 1 log of oil. And the priest that makes him clean shall present the man that is to be made clean, and those things before Yahweh at the door of the tabernacle of the assembly. And the priest shall take 1 he-lamb, and offer him for a trespass offering, and the log of oil, and wave them for a wave offering before Yahweh. And he shall slay the lamb in the place where he shall kill the sin offering and the burnt offering in the holy place. For as the sin offering is the priest's, so is the trespass offering. It is most holy. And the priest shall take some of the blood of the trespass offering, and the priest shall put it upon the tip of the right ear of him that is to be cleansed, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot. And the priest shall take some of the log of oil, and pour it into the palm of his own left hand. And the priest shall dip his right finger in the oil that is in his left hand, and shall sprinkle of the oil with his finger 7 times before Yahweh. And of the rest of the oil that is in his hand shall the priest put upon the tip of the right ear of him that is to be cleansed, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot, upon the blood of the trespass offering. And the remnant of the oil that is in the priest's hand he shall pour upon the head of him that is to be cleansed, and the priest shall make an atonement for him before Yahweh. And the priest shall offer the sin offering, and make an atonement for him that is to be cleansed from his uncleanness. And afterwards he shall kill the burnt offering. And the priest shall offer the burnt offering and the meat offering upon the altar. And the priest shall make an atonement for him, and he shall be clean. And if he be poor, and cannot get so much, then he shall take 1 lamb for a trespass offering to be waved, to make an atonement for him, and 1/10 deal of fine flour mingled with oil for a meat offering, and a log of oil, and 2 turtle doves, or 2 young pigeons, such as he is able to get, and the one shall be a sin offering, and the other a burnt offering. And he shall bring them on the 8th day for his cleansing unto the priest, unto the door of the tabernacle of the assembly before Yahweh. And the priest shall take the lamb of the trespass offering, and the log of oil, and the priest shall wave them for a wave offering before Yahweh. And he shall kill the lamb of the trespass offering, and the priest shall take some of the blood of the trespass offering, and put it upon the tip of the right ear of him that is to be cleansed, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot. And the priest shall pour of the oil into the palm of his own left hand. And the priest shall sprinkle with his right finger some of the oil that is in his left hand 7 times before Yahweh. And the priest shall put of that oil that is in his hand upon the tip of the right ear of him that is to be cleansed, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot, upon the place of the blood of the trespass offering. And the rest of the oil that is in the priest's hand he shall put upon the head of him that is to be cleansed, to make an atonement for him before Yahweh. And he shall offer the one of the turtle doves, or of the young pigeons, such as he can get, even such as he is able to get, the one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering, with the meat offering, and the priest shall make an atonement for him that is to be cleansed before Yahweh. This is the Torah of him in whom is the plague of leprosy, whose hand is not able to get that which pertains to his cleansing.
And Yahweh spoke unto El Moshe and unto El Aharon, saying,
When ye are come into the land of Canaan, which I give to you for a possession, and I put the plague of leprosy in a house of the land of your possession, and he that owns the house shall come and tell the priest, saying, It seems to me there is, as it were, a plague in the house. Then the priest shall command that they empty the house before the priest go into it, to see the plague, that all that is in the house be not made unclean. And afterward the priest shall go in to see the house. And he shall look on the plague, and behold, if the plague be in the walls of the house, with hollow strakes, greenish or reddish, which in sight are lower than the wall, then the priest shall go out of the house to the door of the house, and shut up the house 7 days. And the priest shall come again the 7th day, and shall look, and behold, if the plague be spread in the walls of the house, then the priest shall command that they take away the stones in which the plague is, and they shall cast them into an unclean place without the city. And he shall cause the house to be scraped within round about, and they shall pour out the dust that they scrape off without the city into an unclean place. And they shall take other stones, and put them in the place of those stones, and he shall take other mortar, and shall plaster the house. And if the plague come again, and break out in the house, after that he has taken away the stones, and after he has scraped the house, and after it is plastered, then the priest shall come and look, and behold, if the plague be spread in the house, it is a fretting leprosy in the house, it is unclean. And he shall break down the house, the stones of it, and the timber thereof, and all the mortar of the house, and he shall carry them forth out of the city into an unclean place. Moreover, he that goes into the house all the while that it is shut up shall be unclean until the evening. And he that lies in the house shall wash his clothes, and he that eats in the house shall wash his clothes. And if the priest shall come in and look upon it, and behold, the plague has not spread in the house, after the house was plastered, then the priest shall pronounce the house clean, because the plague is healed. And he shall take to cleanse the house 2 birds, and cedar wood, and scarlet, and hyssop. And he shall kill the one of the birds in an earthen vessel over running water. And he shall take the cedar wood, and the hyssop, and the scarlet, and the living bird, and dip them in the blood of the slain bird, and in the running water, and sprinkle the house 7 times. And he shall cleanse the house with the blood of the bird, and with the running water, and with the living bird, and with the cedar wood, and with the hyssop, and with the scarlet. But he shall let go of the living bird out of the city into the open field, and make an atonement for the house, and it shall be clean. This is the Torah for all manner of plague, of leprosy and scald, and for the leprosy of a garment and of a house, and for a rising, and for a scab, and for a bright spot, to teach when it is unclean, and when it is clean. This is the Torah of leprosy.
Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 15. And Yahweh spoke unto El Moshe and to El Aharon, saying,
Speak unto the children of Yasharel, and say unto them, When any man has a running issue out of his flesh, because of his issue he is unclean. And this shall be his uncleanness in his issue, whether his flesh run with his issue, or his flesh be stopped from his issue, it is his uncleanness. Every bed whereon he lies that has the issue is unclean, and everything whereon he sits shall be unclean. And whosoever touches his bed shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. And he that sits on anything whereon he sat that has the issue shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. And he that touches the flesh of him that has the issue shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. And if he that has the issue spit upon him that is clean, then he shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. And what saddle soever he rides upon that has the issue shall be unclean. And whosoever touches anything that was under him shall be unclean until the evening. And he that bears any of those things shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. And whomsoever he touches that has the issue, and has not rinsed his hands in water, he shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. And the vessel of earth that he touches, which has the issue, shall be broken, and every vessel of wood shall be rinsed in water. And when he that has an issue is cleansed of his issue, then he shall number to himself 7 days for his cleansing, and wash his clothes, and bathe his flesh in running water, and shall be clean. And on the 8th day he shall take to him 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, and come before Yahuwah unto the door of the tabernacle of the assembly, and give them unto the priest. And the priest shall offer them, the one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him before Yahuwah for his issue. And if any man's seed of copulation go out from him, then he shall wash all his flesh in water, and be unclean until the evening. And every garment and every skin whereon is the seed of copulation shall be washed with water, and be unclean until the evening. The woman also with whom the man shall lie with seed of copulation, they shall both bathe themselves in water, and be unclean until the evening. And if a woman have an issue, and her issue in her flesh be blood, she shall be put apart 7 days, and whosoever touches her shall be unclean until the evening. And everything that she lies upon in her separation shall be unclean. Everything also that she sits upon shall be unclean. And whosoever touches her bed shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. And whosoever touches anything that she sat upon shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. And if it be on her bed, or on anything whereon she sits, when he touches it, he shall be unclean until the evening. And if any man lie with her at all, and her flower be upon him, he shall be unclean 7 days, and all the bed whereon he lies shall be unclean. And if a woman have an issue of her blood many days out of the time of her separation, or if it run beyond the time of her separation, all the days of the issue of her uncleanness shall be as the days of her separation. She shall be unclean. Every bed whereon she lies, all the days of her issue, shall be unto her as the bed of her separation, and whatsoever she sits upon shall be unclean, as the uncleanness of her separation. And whosoever touches those things shall be unclean, and shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. But if she be cleansed of her issue, then she shall number to herself 7 days, and after that she shall be clean. And on the 8th day she shall take unto her 2 turtle doves, or 2 young pigeons, and bring them unto the priest to the door of the tabernacle of the assembly. And the priest shall offer the one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for her before Yahuwah for the issue of her uncleanness. Thus shall ye separate the children of Yasharel from their uncleanness, that they die not in their uncleanness, when they defile my tabernacle that is among them. This is the Torah of him that has an issue, and of him whose seed goes from him, and is defiled therewith, and of her that is sick of her flowers, and of him that has an issue, of the man and of the woman, and of him that lies with her that is unclean.
Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 16. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe after the death of the 2 sons of Aharon, when they offered before Yahweh and died. And Yahweh said unto Moshe,
Speak unto Aharon your brother, that he come not at all times into the holy place within the veil before the mercy seat, which is upon the ark, that he die not. For I will appear in the cloud upon the mercy seat. Thus shall Aharon come into the holy place, with a young bullock for a sin offering, and a ram for a burnt offering. He shall put on the holy linen coat, and he shall have the linen breeches upon his flesh, and shall be girded with a linen belt, and with the linen turban shall he be attired. These are holy garments. Therefore shall he wash his flesh in water, and so put them on. And he shall take of the assembly of the children of Yasharel 2 kids of the goats for a sin offering, and 1 ram for a burnt offering. And Aharon shall offer his bullock of the sin offering, which is for himself, and make an atonement for himself and for his house. And he shall take the 2 goats, and present them before Yahuwah at the door of the tabernacle of the assembly. And Aharon shall cast lots upon the 2 goats, 1 lot for Yahuwah, and the other lot for Azazel. And Aharon shall bring the goat upon which Yahuwah's lot fell, and offer him for a sin offering. But the goat on which the lot fell to be for Azazel shall be presented alive before Yahuwah. to make an atonement with him, and to let him go for Azazel into the wilderness. And Aaron shall bring the bullock of the sin offering, which is for himself, and shall make an atonement for himself and for his house, and shall kill the bullock of the sin offering, which is for himself. And he shall take a censer full of burning coals of fire from off the altar before Yahuwah, and his hands full of sweet incense beaten small, and bring it within the veil. And he shall put the incense upon the fire before Yahuwah, that the cloud of the incense may cover the mercy seat that is upon the testimony, that he die not. And he shall take of the blood of the bullock, and sprinkle it with his finger upon the mercy seat eastward. And before the mercy seat shall he sprinkle of the blood with his finger 7 times. Then shall he kill the goat of the sin offering that is for the people, and bring his blood within the veil, and do with that blood as he did with the blood of the bullock, and sprinkle it upon the mercy seat, and before the mercy seat. And he shall make an atonement for the holy place, because of the uncleanness of the children of Yasharel, and because of their transgressions, in all their sins. And so shall he do for the tabernacle of the assembly, that remains among them in the midst of their uncleanness. And there shall be no man in the tabernacle of the assembly, when he goes to make an atonement in the holy place, until he comes out, and have made an atonement for himself, and for his household, and for all the assembly of Yasharel. And he shall go out unto the altar that is before Yahuwah, and make an atonement for it, and shall take of the blood of the bullock, and of the blood of the goat, and put it upon the horns of the altar round about. And he shall sprinkle the blood upon it with his finger 7 times, and cleanse it, and hallow it from the uncleanness of the children of Yasharel. And when he has made an end of reconciling the holy place, and the tabernacle of the assembly, and the altar, he shall bring the live goat. And Aharon shall lay both his hands upon the head of the live goat, and confess over him all the iniquities of the children of Yasharel, and all their transgression in all their sins, putting them upon the head of the goat, and shall send him away by the hand of a fit man into the wilderness. And the goat shall bear upon him all their iniquities, unto a land not inhabited, and he shall let go the goat in the wilderness. And Aharon shall come into the tabernacle of the assembly, and shall put off the linen garments which he put on when he went into the holy place, and shall leave them there. And he shall wash his flesh with water in the holy place, and put on his garments, and come forth, and offer his burnt offering, and the burnt offering of the people, and make an atonement for himself and for the people. And the fat of the sin offering shall he burn upon the altar. And he that let go the goat for Azazel shall wash his clothes, and bathe his flesh in water, and afterwards come into the camp. And the bullock for the sin offering, and the goat for the sin offering, and whose blood was brought in to make an atonement in the holy place, shall one carry forth without the camp, and they shall burn in the fire their skins, and their flesh, and their dung. And he that burns them shall wash his clothes, and bathe his flesh in water, and afterwards he shall come into the camp. And this shall be a statute forever unto you, that in the 7th month, on the 10th day of the month, ye shall afflict your souls, and do no work at all, whether it be one of your own country, or a stranger that sojourns among you. For on that day shall the priest make an atonement for you, to cleanse you, that ye may be clean from all your sins before Yahuwah. It shall be a Sabbath of rest unto you, and ye shall afflict your souls by a statute forever. And the priest, whom he shall anoint, and whom he shall consecrate to minister in the priest's office in his father's stead, shall make the atonement, and shall put on the linen clothes, even the holy garments. And he shall make an atonement for the holy sanctuary, and he shall make an atonement for the tabernacle of the assembly, and for the altar, and he shall make an atonement for the priests, and for all the people of the assembly. And this shall be an everlasting statute unto you, to make an atonement for the children of Yasharel for all their sins once a year.
And he did as Yahweh commanded Moshe. Vaikra, Leviticus chapter 17. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Speak unto Aharon, and unto his sons, and unto all the children of Yasharel, and say unto them, This is the thing which Yahweh has commanded, saying, What man soever there be of the house of Yasharel, that kills an ox, or lamb, or goat, in the camp, or that kills it out of the camp, and brings it not unto the door of the tabernacle of the assembly, to to offer an offering unto Yahweh before the tabernacle of Yahweh, blood shall be imputed unto that man. He has shed blood, and that man shall be cut off from among his people. To the end that the children of Yasharel may bring their sacrifices, which they offer in the open field, even that they may bring them unto Yahweh, unto the door of the tabernacle of the assembly, unto the priest, and offer them for peace offerings unto Yahweh. And priests shall sprinkle the blood upon the altar of Yahweh at the door of the tabernacle of the assembly, and burn the fat for a sweet savor unto Yahweh. And they shall no more offer their sacrifices unto devils, after whom they have gone a whoring. This shall be a statute forever unto them throughout their generations. And ye shall say unto them, Whatsoever man there be of the house of Yasharel, or of the strangers, which sojourn among you, that offers a burnt offering or sacrifice, and brings it not unto the door of the tabernacle of the assembly, to offer it unto Yahweh, even that man shall be cut off from among his people. And whatsoever man there be of the house of Yasharel, or of the strangers that sojourn among you, that eats any manner of blood, I will even set my face against that soul that eats the blood, and will cut him off from among his people. For the soul of the flesh is in the blood. He and I have given it to you upon the altar to make an atonement for your souls. For it is the blood of him that makes an atonement in the soul. Therefore I said unto the children of Yasharel, No soul of you shall eat blood, neither shall any stranger that sojourns among you eat blood. And whatsoever man there be of the children of Yasharel, or of the strangers that sojourn among you, which hunts and catches a beast or fowl that may be eaten, he shall even pour out the blood thereof, and cover it with dust. For it is the life of all flesh. The blood of it is for the life thereof. Therefore I said unto the children of Yasharel, Ye shall eat the blood of no manner of flesh, for the life of all flesh is the blood thereof. Whosoever eats it shall be cut off. And every soul that eats that which died of itself, or that which was torn with beasts, whether it be one of your own country or a stranger, he shall both wash his clothes and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the evening. Then shall he be clean. But if he wash them not, nor bathe his flesh, then he shall bear his iniquity.
Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 18. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Speak unto the children of Yasharel, and say unto them, I am Yahweh Elohim. After the doings of the land of Mitzrayim, where ye dwell, shall ye not do. And after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, shall ye not do. Neither shall ye walk in their ordinances. Ye shall do my judgments, and guard my ordinances, to walk therein. I am Yahuwah Elohim. Ye shall therefore guard my statutes and my judgments, which if a man do, he shall live in them. I am Yahweh. None of you shall approach to any that is near of kin to him, to uncover their nakedness. I am Yahweh. The nakedness of your father, or the nakedness of your mother, shall you not uncover. She is your mother. You shall not uncover her nakedness. The nakedness of your father's woman shall you not uncover. It is your father's nakedness. The nakedness of your sister, the daughter of your father, the daughter of your mother, whether she be born at home or born abroad, even their nakedness you shall not uncover. The nakedness of your son's daughter, or of your daughter's daughter, even their nakedness you shall not uncover, for theirs is your own nakedness. The nakedness of your father's woman's daughter, begotten of your father, she is your sister, you shall not uncover her nakedness. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your father's sister, she is your father's near kinswoman. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your mother's sister, for she is your mother's near kinswoman. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your father's brother. You shall not approach to his woman, she is your aunt. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your daughter-in-law, she is your son's woman. You shall not uncover her nakedness. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your brother's woman, it is your brother's nakedness. You shall not uncover the nakedness of a woman and her daughter, neither shall you take her son's daughter, or her daughter's daughter, to uncover her nakedness, for they are your near kinswoman. It is wickedness. Neither shall you take a woman to her sister, to vex her, to uncover her nakedness, beside the other in her lifetime. Also you shall not approach unto a woman to uncover her nakedness, as long as she is put apart for her uncleanness. Moreover, you shall not lie carnally with your neighbor's woman to defile yourself with her. And you shall not let any of your seed pass through the fire to Molech, neither shall you profane the name of your Elohim. I am Yahweh. You shall not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is an abomination. Neither shall you lie with any beast to defile yourself therewith. Neither shall any woman stand before a beast to lie down thereto. It is confusion. Defile not ye yourselves in any of these things, for in all these the nations are defiled, which I cast out before you. And the land is defiled, therefore I do visit the iniquity thereof upon it, and the land itself vomits out her inhabitants. Ye shall therefore guard my statutes and my judgments, and shall not commit any of these abominations, neither any of your own nation, nor any stranger that sojourns among you. For all these abominations have the men of the land done, which were before you, and the land is defiled. That the land spew not you out also, when ye defile it, as it spewed out the nations that were before you. For whosoever shall commit any of these abominations, even the souls that commit them shall be cut off from among their people. Therefore shall ye guard my ordinance, that ye commit not any of these abominable customs, which were committed before you, and that ye defile not yourselves therein. I am Yahuwah Elohim.
Vaikra, Leviticus chapter 19. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Speak unto all the assembly of the children of Yasharel, and say unto them, Ye shall be holy, for I, Yahuwah Elohim, am holy. Ye shall fear every man his mother and his father, and guard my Shabbathot. I am Yahuwah Elohim. Turn ye not unto idols, nor make to yourselves molten Elohim. I am Yahuwah Elohim. And if ye offer a sacrifice of peace offerings unto Yahuwah, ye shall offer it at your own will. It shall be eaten the same day ye offer it, and on the morrow. And if aught remain unto the third day, it shall be burnt in the fire. And if it be eaten at all on the third day, it is abominable. It shall not be accepted. Therefore everyone that eats it shall bear his iniquity, because he has profaned the hallowed thing of Yahuwah, and that soul shall be cut off from among his people. And when ye reap the harvest of your land, ye shall not wholly reap the corners of your field, neither shall you gather the gleanings of your harvest. And you shall not glean your vineyard, neither shall you gather every grape of your vineyard. You shall leave them for the poor and stranger. I am Yahuwah Elohim. Ye shall not steal, neither deal falsely, neither lie one to another. And ye shall not swear by my name falsely, neither shall you profane the name of your Elohim. I am Yahuwah. You shall not defraud your neighbor, neither rob him. The wages of him that is hired shall not abide with you all night until the morning. You shall not curse the deaf, nor put a stumbling block before the blind, but shall fear your Elohim. I am Yahuwah. Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment. You shall not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty, but in righteousness shall you judge your neighbor. You shall not go up and down as a talebearer among your people, neither shall you stand against the blood of your neighbor. I am Yahuwah. You shall not hate your brother in your heart. You shall in any wise rebuke your neighbor, and not suffer sin upon him. You shall not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of your people, but you shall love your neighbor as yourself. I am Yahuwah. Ye shall guard my statutes. You shall not let your cattle gender with a diverse kind. You shall not sow your field with mingled seed, neither shall a garment mingled of linen and woolen come upon you. And whosoever lies carnally with a woman that is a bondmaid, betrothed to a man, and not at all redeemed, nor freedom given her, she shall be scourged. They shall not be put to death, because she was not free. And he shall bring his trespass offering unto Yahuwah, unto the door of the tabernacle of the assembly, even a ram for a trespass offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him, with the ram of the trespass offering before Yahuwah, for his sin which he has done, and the sin which he has done shall be forgiven him. And when ye come into the land, and shall have planted all manner of trees for food, then ye shall count the fruit thereof as uncircumcised. 3 years shall it be as uncircumcised unto you. It shall not be eaten of. But in the 4th year, all the fruit thereof shall be holy to praise Yahuwah withal. And in the 5th year shall ye eat of the fruit thereof, that it may yield unto you the increase thereof. I am Yahuwah Elohim. Ye shall not eat anything with the blood, neither shall ye use enchantment, nor practice sorcery. You shall not round the corners of your heads, neither shall you mar the corners of your beard. You shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am Yahuwah. Do not prostitute your daughter, to cause her to be a whore, lest the land fall to whoredom, and the land become full of wickedness. Ye shall guard my Shabbathot, and reverence my sanctuary. I am Yahuwah. Regard not them that have familiar spirits, neither seek after wizards to be defiled by them. I am Yahuwah Elohim. You shall rise up before the gray head, and honor the face of the old man, and fear your Elohim. I am Yahuwah. And if a stranger sojourn with you in your land, ye shall not vex him. But the stranger that dwells with you shall be unto you as one born among you, and you shall love him as yourself. For ye were strangers in the land of Mitzrayim. I am Yahuwah Elohim. Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment, in meat yard, in weight, or in measure. Just balances, just weights, a just ephah, and a just hin shall ye have. I am Yahuwah Elohim, which brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim. Therefore shall ye guard all my statutes, and all my judgments, and do them. I am Yahuwah.
Vaikra, Leviticus chapter 20. And Yahuwah spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Again you shall say to the children of Yasharel, whosoever he be of the children of Yasharel, or of the strangers that sojourn in Yasharel, that gives any of his seed unto Molech, he shall surely be put to death. The people of the land shall stone him with stones. And I will set my face against that man, and I will cut him off from among his people, because he has given of his seed unto Molech, to defile my sanctuary, and to profane my holy name. And if the people of the land do any ways hide their eyes from the man, when he gives of his seed unto Molech, and kill him not, then I will set my face against that man, and against his family, and will cut him off, and all that go a-whoring after him, to commit whoredom with Molech, from among their people. And the soul that turns after such as have familiar spirits, and after wizards, to go a-whoring after them, I will even set my face against that soul, and will cut him off from among his people. Sanctify yourselves, therefore, and be ye holy, for I am Yahuwah Elohim, and ye shall guard my statutes, and do them. I am Yahuwah Mekodishkim. For everyone that curses his father or his mother shall surely be put to death. He has cursed his father or his mother, his blood shall be upon him. And the man that breaks wedlock with another man's woman, even he that breaks wedlock with his neighbor's woman, the man and the woman that breaks wedlock shall surely be put to death. And the man that lies with his father's woman has uncovered his father's nakedness. Both of them shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. And if a man lie with his daughter-in-law, both of them shall surely be put to death. They have wrought confusion. Their blood shall be upon them. If a man also lie with mankind, as he lies with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. And if a man take a woman and her mother, it is wickedness. They shall be burnt with fire, both he and they, that there be no wickedness among you. And if a man lie with a beast, he shall surely be put to death, and ye shall slay the beast. And if a woman approach unto any beast, and lie down thereto, you shall kill the woman and the beast. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. And if a man shall take his sister, his father's daughter, or his mother's daughter, and see her nakedness, and she see his nakedness, it is a wicked thing, and they shall be cut off in the sight of their people. He has uncovered his sister's nakedness, he shall bear his iniquity. And if a man shall lie with a woman having her sickness, and shall uncover her nakedness, he has discovered her fountain, and she has uncovered the fountain of her blood, and both of them shall be cut off from among their people. And you shall not uncover the nakedness of your mother's sister, nor of your father's sister, For he uncovers his near kin, they shall bear their iniquity. And if a man shall lie with his uncle's woman, he has uncovered his uncle's nakedness. They shall bear their sin, they shall die childless. And if a man shall take his brother's woman, it is an unclean thing. He has uncovered his brother's nakedness. They shall be childless. Ye shall therefore guard all my statutes and all my judgments, and do them, that the land whither I bring you to dwell therein spew you not out. And ye shall not walk in the manner of the nation which I cast out before you. For they committed all these things, and therefore I abhorred them. But I have said unto you, ye shall inherit their land, and I will give unto you to possess it, a land that flows with milk and honey. I am Yahweh Elohim, which have separated you from other people. Ye shall therefore put difference between clean beasts and unclean, and between unclean fowls and clean. And ye shall not make your souls abominable by beast, or by fowl, or by any manner of living thing that creeps on the ground, which I have separated from you as unclean. And ye shall be holy unto me, for I, Yahweh, am holy, and have severed you from other people, that ye should be mine. A man also, or a woman that has a familiar spirit, or that is a wizard, shall surely be put to death. They shall stone them with stones. Their blood shall be upon them.
Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 21. And Yahweh said unto Moshe,
Speak unto the priests, the sons of Aharon, and say unto them, There shall none be defiled for the dead among his people, but for his kin that is near unto him, that is, for his mother, and for his father, and for his son, and for his daughter, and for his brother, and for his sister a virgin, that is nigh unto him, which has had no man, for her may he be defiled. But he shall not defile himself, being a chief among his people, to profane himself. They shall not make baldness upon their head, neither shall they shave off the corners of their beard, nor make any cuttings in their flesh. They shall be holy unto their Elohim, and not profane the name of their Elohim. For the offerings of Yahweh made by fire, and the bread of their Elohim they do offer. Therefore they shall be holy. They shall not take a woman that is a whore, or profane, neither shall they take a woman put away from her man, for he is holy unto his Elohim. You shall sanctify him therefore, for he offers the bread of your Elohim. He shall be holy unto you, for I, Yahweh, which sanctify you, am holy. And the daughter of any priest, if she profane herself by playing the whore, she profanes her father, she shall be burnt with fire. And he that is high priest among his brethren, upon whose head the anointing oil was poured, and that is consecrated to put on the garments, shall not uncover his head, nor rend his clothes. Neither shall he go in to any dead body, nor defile himself for his father, or for his mother. Neither shall he go out of the sanctuary, nor profane the sanctuary of his Elohim. For the crown of the anointing oil of his Elohim is upon him. I am Yahweh. And he shall take a woman in her virginity, a widow or a divorced woman, or profane, or a harlot, these shall he not take, but he shall take a virgin of his own people to be his woman. Neither shall he profane his seed among his people, for I, Yahweh, do sanctify him.
And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Speak unto Aharon, saying, Whosoever he be of your seed in their generations, that has any blemish, let him not approach to offer the bread of his Elohim. For whosoever man he be that has a blemish, he shall not approach, a blind man or a lame, or he that has a flat nose, or anything superfluous, or a man that is broken-footed, or broken-handed, or crook-backed, or a dwarf, or that has a blemish in his eye, or be scurvy, or scabbed, or has his stones broken. No man that has a blemish of the seed of Aharon the priest shall come nigh to offer the offerings of Yahweh, made by fire. He has a blemish. He shall not come nigh to offer the bread of his Elohim. He shall not eat the bread of his Elohim, both of the most holy and of the holy. Only he shall not go in unto the veil, nor come nigh unto the altar, because he has a blemish. that he profane not my sanctuaries, for I, Yahweh, do sanctify them.
And Moshe told it unto Aharon, and to his sons, and to all the children of Yashrael. Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 22. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Speak unto Aharon and to his sons, that they separate themselves from the holy things of the children of Yasharel, and that they profane not my holy name in those things, which they hallow unto me. I am Yahweh. Say unto them, whosoever he be of all your seed among your generations, that goes unto the holy things, which the children of Yasharel hallow unto Yahweh, having his uncleanness upon him, that soul shall be cut off from my presence. I am Yahweh. What man soever of the seed of Aaron is a leper, or has a running issue, he shall not eat of the holy things, until he be clean. And whoso touches anything that is unclean by the dead, or a man whose seed goes from him, or whosoever touches any creeping thing, whereby he may be made unclean, or a man of whom he may take uncleanness, whatsoever uncleanness he has, the soul which has touched any such thing shall be unclean until evening, and shall not eat of the holy things, unless he wash his flesh with water. And when the sun is down, he shall be clean, and shall afterward eat of the holy things, because it is his food. That which dies of itself, or is torn with beasts, he shall not eat, to defile himself therewith. I am Yahweh. They shall therefore guard my ordinance, lest they bear sin for it, and die therefore. If they profane it, I, Yahweh, do sanctify them. There shall no stranger eat of the holy thing. A sojourner of the priest, or a hired servant, shall not eat of the holy thing. But if the priest buy any soul with his money, he shall eat of it. And he that is born in his house, they shall eat of his meat. If the priest's daughter also be married unto a stranger, she may not eat of an offering of the holy things. But if the priest's daughter be a widow, or divorced, and have no child, and is returned unto her father's house, as in her youth, she shall eat of her father's meat, but there shall no stranger eat thereof. And if a man eat of the holy thing unwittingly, then he shall put the fifth part thereof unto it, and shall give it unto the priest with the holy thing. And they shall not profane the holy things of the children of Yasharel, which they offer unto Yahweh, or suffer them to bear the iniquity of trespass when they eat their holy things. For I, Yahweh, do sanctify them.
And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Speak unto Aharon, and to his sons, and unto all the children of Yasharel, and say unto them, whatsoever he be of the house of Yasharel, or of the strangers in Yasharel, that will offer his oblation for all his vows, and for all his freewill offerings, which they will offer unto Yahweh for a burnt offering. Ye shall offer at your own will a male without blemish, of the cattle, of the sheep, or of the goats. But whatsoever has a blemish, that shall ye not offer, for it shall not be acceptable for you. And whosoever offers a sacrifice of peace offerings unto Yahweh, to accomplish his vow, or a freewill offering in cattle or sheep, it shall be perfect to be accepted. There shall be no blemish therein. Blind, or broken, or maimed, or having a running sore, or scurvy, or scabbed, ye shall not offer these unto Yahweh, nor make an offering by fire of them upon the altar unto Yahweh. Either a bullock or a lamb that has anything superfluous or lacking in his parts, that may you offer for a freewill offering, but for a vow it shall not be accepted. Ye shall not offer unto Yahweh that which is bruised, or crushed, or broken, or cut, neither shall ye make any offerings thereof in your land. Neither from a stranger's hand shall ye offer the bread of your Elohim, of any of these, because their corruption is in them, and blemishes be in them. They shall not be accepted for you.
And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
When a bullock or a sheep, or a goat is brought forth, then it shall be 7 days under the dam, and from the 8th day, and thenceforth, it shall be accepted for an offering made by fire unto Yahweh. And whether it be cow or ewe, ye shall not kill it, and her young, both in 1 day. And when ye offer a sacrifice of thanksgiving unto Yahweh, offer it at your own will. On the same day it shall be eaten up. Ye shall leave none of it until the morrow. I am Yahweh. Therefore shall ye guard my commandments, and do them. I am Yahweh. Neither shall ye profane my holy name, but I will be hallowed among the children of Yasharel. I am Yahweh, which hallow you, that brought you out of the land of Mizraim, to be your Elohim. I am Yahweh.
Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 23. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Speak unto the children of Yasharel, and say unto them concerning the feasts of Yahweh, which ye shall proclaim to be holy assemblies. Even these are my feasts. 6 days shall work be done, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of rest, a holy assembly. Ye shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of Yahweh in all your dwellings. These are the feasts of Yahweh, even holy assemblies, which ye shall proclaim in their appointed times. In the 14th day of the first month, at evening, is Yahweh's Pesach. And on the 15th day of the same month is the feast of Matzah unto Yahweh. 7 days ye must eat matzah, unleavened bread. In the first day ye shall have a holy assembly. Ye shall do no servile work therein. But ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto Yahweh 7 days. In the 7th day is a holy assembly. Ye shall do no servile work therein.
And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Speak unto the children of Yasharel, and say unto them, When ye are come into the land which I give unto you, and shall reap the harvest thereof, then ye shall bring a sheaf of the first fruits of your harvest unto the priest. And he shall wave the sheaf before Yahweh, to be accepted for you. On the morrow after the Sabbath, the priest shall wave it. And ye shall offer that day, when ye wave the sheaf, a he-lamb without blemish, of the first year, for a burnt offering unto Yahweh. And the meat offering thereof shall be 2/10 deals of fine flour mingled with oil, an offering made by fire unto Yahweh, for a sweet savor. And the drink offering thereof shall be of wine, the 4th part of a hin. And ye shall eat neither bread, nor parched grain, nor green ears, until the selfsame day that ye have brought an offering unto your Elohim. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations, in all your dwellings. And ye shall count unto you from the morrow after the Sabbath, from the day that ye brought the sheaf of the wave offering, 7 Shavuot. Sabbaths shall be complete. Even unto the morrow after the 7th Sabbath shall ye number 50 days, and ye shall offer a new meat offering unto Yahweh. Ye shall bring out of your habitations 2 wave loaves of 2/10 deals. They shall be of fine flour. They shall be baken with leaven. They are the first fruits unto Yahweh. And ye shall offer with the bread 7 lambs, without blemish of the first year, and 1 bullock, and 2 rams. They shall be for a burnt offering unto Yahweh, with their meat offering, and their drink offerings, even an offering made by fire of sweet savor unto Yahweh. Then ye shall sacrifice 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, and 2 lambs of the first year for a sacrifice of peace offerings. And the priest shall wave them with the bread of the first fruits for a wave offering before Yahweh. With the 2 lambs, they shall be holy to Yahweh for the priest. And ye shall proclaim on the selfsame day that it may be a holy assembly unto you. Ye shall do no servile work therein. It shall be a statute forever in your dwellings throughout your generations. And when ye reap the harvest of your land, you shall not make clean riddance of the corners of your field when you reap. Neither shall you gather any gleanings of your harvest. You shall leave them unto the poor, and to the stranger. I am Yahweh, Elohim.
And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Speak unto the children of Yasharel, saying, In the 7th month, on the first day of the month, shall ye have a Sabbath, a memorial of blowing of shofarot, Yom Teruah, the feast of trumpets, the day of the awakening blast. a holy assembly. Ye shall do no servile work therein, but ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto Yahuwah.
And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Also on the 10th day of this 7th month is Yom Kippurim, the day of atonement. It shall be a holy assembly unto you, and ye shall afflict your souls, and offer an offering made by fire unto Yahuwah. And ye shall do no work in that same day, for it is Yom Kippurim, to make an atonement for you before Yahuwah Elohaikum. For whatsoever soul it be that shall not be afflicted in that same day, he shall be cut off from among his people. And whatsoever soul it be that does any work in that same day, the same soul will I destroy from among his people. Ye shall do no manner of work. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations, in all your dwellings. It shall be unto you a Sabbath of rest, and ye shall afflict your souls in the 9th day of the month at evening. From evening unto evening shall ye celebrate your Sabbath.
And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Speak unto the children of Yasharel, saying, The 15th day of this 7th month shall be the feast of Sukkot, tabernacles, for 7 days unto Yahuwah. On the first day shall be a holy assembly. Ye shall do no servile work therein. 7 days ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto Yahuwah. On the 8th day shall be a holy assembly unto you, and ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto Yahuwah. It is a solemn assembly, and ye shall do no servile work therein. These are the feasts of Yahuwah, which ye shall proclaim to be holy assemblies, to offer an offering made by fire unto Yahuwah, a burnt offering and a meat offering, a sacrifice and drink offerings, everything upon his day. Besides the Shavuot, Sabbaths of Yahuwah, and beside your gifts, and beside all your vows, and beside all your freewill offerings, which ye give unto Yahuwah. Also in the 15th day of the 7th month, when ye have gathered in the fruit of the land, ye shall keep a feast unto Yahuwah 7 days. On the first day shall be a Sabbath, and on the 8th day shall be a Sabbath. And ye shall take you on the first day the boughs of goodly trees, branches of palm trees, and the boughs of fig trees, and willows of the brook, and ye shall rejoice before Yahuwah Elohaikum 7 days. And ye shall keep it a feast unto Yahuwah 7 days in the year. It shall be a statute forever in your generations. Ye shall celebrate it in the 7th month. Ye shall dwell in sukkahs, booths, 7 days. All that are Yasharel born shall dwell in sukkahs, that your generations may know that I made the children of Yasharel to dwell in sukkahs, when I brought them out of the land of Mitzrayim. I am Yahuwah Elohaikum.
And Moshe declared unto the children of Yasharel the feasts of Yahweh. Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 24. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Command the children of Yasharel that they bring unto you pure olive oil, beaten for the light, to cause the lamps to burn continually, without the veil of the testimony. In the tabernacle of the assembly shall Aharon order it from the evening unto the morning before Yahuwah continually. It shall be a statute forever in your generations. He shall order the lamps upon the pure menorah, 7-branched candlestick, before Yahuwah continually. And you shall take fine flour, and bake 12 cakes thereof. 2/10 deals shall be in 1 cake. And you shall set them in 2 rows, 6 on a row, upon the pure table before Yahuwah. And you shall put pure frankincense upon each row, that it may be on the bread for a memorial, even a memorial made by fire unto Yahuwah. Every Sabbath he shall set it in order before Yahuwah continually, being taken from the children of Yasharel by an everlasting covenant. And it shall be Aharon and his sons, and they shall eat it in the holy place, for it is most holy unto him of the offerings of Yahuwah made by fire, by a perpetual statute.
And the son of a Yashareliteth woman, whose father was a Mitzri, went out among the children of Yasharel. And this son of the Yashareliteth woman and a man of Yashrael strove together in the camp. And the Yashraeliteth woman's son blasphemed the name of Yahweh, and cursed, and they brought him unto Moshe, and his mother's name was Shelomith, the daughter of Divri, of the tribe of Dan. And they put him in ward, that the mind of Yahweh might be showed them. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Bring forth him that has cursed without the camp, and let all that heard him lay their hands upon his head, and let all the assembly stone him. And you shall speak unto the children of Yasharel, saying, Whosoever curses his Elohim shall bear his sin. And he that blasphemes the name of Yahweh, he shall surely be put to death. And all the assembly shall certainly stone him, as well the stranger, as he that is born in the land, when he blasphemes the name of Yahweh, shall be put to death. And he that kills any man shall surely be put to death. And he that kills a beast shall make it good, beast for beast. And if a man cause a blemish in his neighbor, as he has done, so shall it be done to him. Breach for breach, eye for eye, tooth for tooth. As he has caused a blemish in a man, so shall it be done to him again. And he that kills a beast, he shall restore it. And he that kills a man, he shall be put to death. Ye shall have one manner of law, as well for the stranger, as for one of your own country. For I am Yahweh Elohim.
And Moshe spoke to the children of Yashrael, that they should bring forth him that had cursed out of the camp, and stone him with stones. And the children of Yashrael did as Yahweh commanded Moshe. Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 25. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe in Mount Sinai, saying,
Speak unto the children of Yasharel, and say unto them, When ye come into the land which I give you, then shall the land keep a Sabbath unto Yahweh. 6 years you shall sow your field, and 6 years you shall prune your vineyard, and gather in the fruit thereof. But in the 7th year shall be a Sabbath of rest unto the land, a Sabbath for Yahweh. You shall neither sow your field, nor prune your vineyard. That which grows of its own accord of your harvest you shall not reap, neither gather the grapes of your vine undressed, for it is a year of rest unto the land. And the Sabbath of the land shall be food for you and for your servant, and for your maid, and for your hired servant, and for your stranger that sojourns with you, and for your cattle, and for the beasts that are in your land, shall all the increase thereof be meat. And you shall number 7 Shabbathot, Sabbaths of years unto you, 7 times 7 years, and the space of the 7 Shabbathot of years shall be unto you 49 years. Then shall you cause the shofar of the Jubilee to sound on the 10th day of the 7th month, in Yom Kippurim, the day of atonement. Shall ye make the shofar sound throughout all your land. And ye shall hallow the 50th year, and proclaim liberty throughout all the land unto all the inhabitants thereof. It shall be a jubilee unto you, and ye shall return every man unto his possession, and ye shall return every man unto his family. A jubilee shall that 50th year be unto you. Ye shall not sow, neither reap that which grows of itself in it, nor gather the grapes in it of your vine undressed. For it is the Jubilee, it shall be holy unto you. Ye shall eat the increase thereof out of the field. In the year of this Jubilee, ye shall return every man unto his possession. And if ye sell aught unto your neighbor, or buy aught of your neighbor's hand, ye shall not oppress one another. According to the number of years after the Jubilee, you shall buy of your neighbor, and according unto the number of years of the fruits, he shall sell unto you. According to the multitude of years you shall increase the price thereof, and according to the fewness of years you shall diminish the price of it. For according to the number of the years of the fruits he sells unto you. Ye shall not therefore oppress one another, but you shall fear your Elohim, for I am Yahweh Elohim. Wherefore ye shall do my statutes, and guard my judgments, and do them, and ye shall dwell in the land in safety. And the land shall yield her fruit, and ye shall eat your fill, and dwell therein in safety. And if ye say, what shall we eat the 7th year? Behold, we shall not sow, nor gather in our increase. Then I will command my blessing upon you in the 6th year, and it shall bring forth fruit for 3 years. And ye shall sow the 8th year, and eat yet of old fruit until the 9th year. Until her fruits come in, ye shall eat of the old store. The land shall not be sold forever, for the land is mine, and ye are strangers and sojourners with me. And in all the land of your possession ye shall grant a redemption for the land. If your brother be waxen poor, and has sold away some of his possession, and if any of his kin come to redeem it, then shall he redeem that which his brother sold. And if the man have not to redeem it, and himself be able to redeem it, then let him count the years of the sale thereof, and restore the overplus unto the man whom he sold it, that he may return unto his possession. But if he be not able to restore it to him, then that which is sold shall remain in the hand of him that has bought it until the year of Jubilee. And in the Jubilee it shall go out, and he shall return unto his possession. And if a man sell a dwelling house in a walled city, then he may redeem it within a whole year after it is sold. Within a full year may he redeem it. And if it be not redeemed within the space of a full year, then the house that is in the walled city shall be established forever to him, that brought it throughout his generations. It shall not go out in the Jubilee. But the houses of the villages which have no wall round about them shall be counted as the fields of the country. They may be redeemed, and they shall go out in the Jubilee. Notwithstanding, the cities of the Leviim, of the houses of the cities of their possession, may the Leviim redeem at any time. And if a man purchases of the Leviim, then the house that was sold, and the city of his possession, shall go out in the year of Jubilee. For the houses of the cities of the Leviim are their possession, among the children of Yasharel. But the field of the suburbs of their cities may not be sold, for it is their perpetual possession. And if your brother be waxen poor, and fallen in decay with you, then you shall relieve him, yea, though he be a stranger or a sojourner, that he may live with you. Take no usury of him, or increase, but fear your Elohim, that your brother may live with you. You shall not give him your money upon usury, nor lend him your victuals for increase. I am Yahuwah Elohaikum, which brought you forth out of the land of Mitzrayim, to give you the land of Canaan, and to be your Elohim. And if your brother that dwells by you be waxen poor, and be sold unto you, you shall not compel him to serve as a bondservant, but as a hired servant, and as a sojourner. He shall be with you, and shall serve you unto the year of Jubilee. And then shall he depart from you, both he and his children with him, and shall return unto his own family, and unto the possession of his fathers shall he return. For they are my servants, which I brought forth out of the land of Mitzrayim. They shall not be sold as bondmen. You shall not rule over him with rigor, but shall fear your Elohim. Both your bondmen and your bondmaids, which you shall have, shall be of the heathen that are round about you. Of them shall ye buy bondmen and bondmaids. Moreover, of the children of the strangers that do sojourn among you, of them shall ye buy, and of their families that are with you, which they begat in your land, and they shall be your possession. And ye shall take them as an inheritance for your children after you, to inherit them for a possession. They shall be your bondmen forever. But over your brethren, the children of Yasharel, you shall not rule one over another with rigor. And if a sojourner or a stranger wax rich by you, and your brother that dwells by him wax poor, and sell himself unto the stranger or sojourner by you, or to the stock of the stranger's family, after that he is sold, he may be redeemed again. One of his brethren may redeem him. Either his uncle or his uncle's son may redeem him, or any that is nigh of kin unto him of his family may redeem him, or if he be able, he may redeem himself. And he shall reckon with him that bought him from the year that he was sold unto him, unto the year of Jubilee. And the price of his sale shall be according to the number of years, according to the time of a hired servant shall it be with him. If there be yet many years behind, according unto them he shall give again the price of his redemption, out of the money that he was bought for. And if there remain but few years unto the year of Jubilee, then he shall count with him, and according unto his years shall he give him again the price of his redemption. And as a yearly hired servant shall be with him, and the other shall not rule with rigor over him in your sight. And if he be not redeemed in these years, then he shall go out in the year of Jubilee, both he and his children with him. For unto me the children of Yasharel are servants. They are my servants, whom I brought forth out of the land of Mitzrayim. I am Yahuwah Elohaikum.
Vaikra, Leviticus chapter 26.
Ye shall make you no idols, nor graven image, neither rear you up a standing image, neither shall ye set up any image of stone in your land, to bow down unto it. For I am Yahuwah Elohaikum. Ye shall guard my Sabbaths, and reverence my sanctuary. I am Yahuwah. If ye walk in my statutes, and guard my commandments, and do them, then I will give you rain in due season, and the land shall yield her increase, and the trees of the field shall yield their fruit. And your threshing shall reach unto the vintage, and the vintage shall reach unto the sowing time, and ye shall eat your bread to the full, and dwell in your land safely. And I will give peace in the land, lying down with nothing to fear, and the Sabbath of life, though evil be part of the land, there is no sword to bring in the land. And ye shall chase your enemies, and they shall fall before you by the sword. And 5 of you shall chase 100, and 100 of you shall put 10,000 to flight. And your enemies shall fall before you by the sword. For I will have respect unto you, and make you fruitful, and multiply you, and establish my covenant with you. And ye shall eat old store, and bring forth the old because of the new. And I will set my tabernacle among you, and my soul shall not abhor you. And I will walk among you, and will be your Elohim, and ye shall be my people. I am Yahuwah Elohaikum, which brought you forth out of the land of Mitzrayim, that ye should not be their bondmen. And I have broken the bands of your yoke, and made you go upright. But if ye will not hearken unto me, and will not do all these commandments, and if ye shall despise my statutes, or if your soul abhor my judgments, so that ye will not do all my commandments, but that ye break my covenant, I also will do this unto you. I will even appoint over you terror, consumption, and the burning on, that shall consume the eyes, and cause sorrow of heart, and ye shall sow your seed in vain, for your enemies shall eat it. And I will set my face against you, and ye shall be slain before your enemies. They that hate you shall reign over you, and ye shall flee when none pursues you. And if ye will not yet for all this hearken unto me, then I will punish you 7 times more for your sins. And I will break the pride of your power, and I will make your heaven as iron, and your earth as brass. And your strength shall be spent in vain, for your land shall not yield her increase, neither shall the trees of the land yield their fruits. And if ye walk contrary unto me, and will not hearken unto me, I will bring 7 times more plagues upon you according to your sins. I will also send wild beasts among you, which shall rob you of your children, and destroy your cattle, and make you few in number, and your highways shall be desolate. And if ye will not be reformed by me by these things, but will walk contrary unto me, then will I walk contrary unto you, and will punish you yet 7 times for your sins. And I will bring a sword upon you, that shall avenge the quarrel of my covenant. And when ye are gathered together within your cities, I will send the pestilence among you, and ye shall be delivered into the hand of the enemy. And when I have broken the staff of your bread, 10 women shall bake your bread in one oven, and they shall deliver you your bread again by weight, and ye shall eat, and not be satisfied. And if ye will not for all this hearken unto me, but walk contrary unto me, then I will walk contrary unto you also in fury, and I, even I, will chastise you 7 times for your sins. And ye shall eat the flesh of your sons, and the flesh of your daughters shall ye eat. And I will destroy your high places, and cut down your images, and cast your carcasses upon the carcasses of your idols, and my soul shall abhor you. And I will make your cities waste, and bring your sanctuaries unto desolation. And I will not smell the savor of your sweet odors. And I will bring the land unto desolation, and your enemies which dwell therein shall be astonished at it. And I will scatter you among the heathen, and will draw out my sword after you, and your land shall be desolate, and your cities waste. Then shall the land enjoy her Shabbathot, as long as it lies desolate, and ye be in your enemy's land. Even then shall the land rest, and enjoy her Shabbathot. As long as it lies desolate, it shall rest, because it did not rest in your Shabbathot, when ye dwelt upon it. And upon them that are left alive of you, I will send a faintness into their hearts, in the land of their enemies, and the sound of a shaken leaf shall chase them, and they shall flee as fleeing from a sword, and they shall fall when none pursues. And they shall fall one upon another, as it were before a sword, when none pursues. And ye have no power to stand before your enemies. And ye shall perish among the heathen, and the land of your enemies shall eat you up. And they that are left of you shall pine away in their iniquity, in your enemies' lands, and also in the iniquities of their fathers shall they pine away with them. If they shall confess their iniquity, and the iniquity of their fathers, with their transgressions which they transgressed against me, and that also they have walked contrary unto me, and that I also have walked contrary unto them, and have brought them into the land of their enemies, if then their uncircumcised heart be humbled, and they then accept of the punishment of their iniquity, then I will remember my covenant with Yaakov, and also my covenant with Yitzhak, and also my covenant with Abraham will I remember, and I will remember the land. The land also shall be left of them, and shall enjoy her Shabbathot, while she lies desolate without them. And they shall accept of the punishment of their iniquity, because they despised my judgments, and because their soul abhorred my statutes. And yet, for all that, when they be in the land of their enemies, I will not cast them away, neither will I abhor them, to destroy them utterly, and to break my covenant with them. For I am Yahweh Elohim. But I will for their sakes remember the covenant of their ancestors, whom I brought forth out of the land of Mitzrayim, in the sight of the heathen, that I might be their Elohim. I am Yahweh.
These are the commandments and judgments and Torah, which Yahweh made between him and the children of Yisrael in Mount Sinai by the hand of Moshe. Vayikra, Leviticus chapter 27. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying,
Speak unto the children of Yisrael, and say unto them, when a man shall make a singular vow, the persons shall be for Yahuwah by your estimation. And your estimation shall be of the male from 20 years old, even unto 60 years old. Even your estimation shall be 50 shekels of silver, after the shekel of the sanctuary. And if it be a female, then your estimation shall be 30 shekels. And if it be from 5 years old, even unto 20 years old, then your estimation shall be of the male 20 shekels, and for the female 10 shekels. And if it be from a month old, even unto 5 years old, then your estimation shall be of the male 5 shekels of silver, and for the female your estimation shall be 3 shekels of silver. And if it be from 60 years old and above, if it be a male, then your estimation shall be 15 shekels, and for the female 10 shekels. But if he be poorer than your estimation, then he shall present himself before the priest, and the priest shall value him according to his ability, that vowed shall the priest value him. And if it be a beast, whereof men bring an offering unto Yahuwah, all that any man gives of such unto Yahuwah shall be holy. He shall not alter it, nor change it, a good for a bad, or a bad for a good. And if he shall at all change beast for beast, then it and the exchange thereof shall be holy. And if it be any unclean beast, of which they do not offer a sacrifice unto Yahuwah, then he shall present the beast before the priest. And the priest shall value it, whether it be good or bad, as you value it. Who are the priest, so shall it be. But if he will at all redeem it, then he shall add a fifth part thereof unto your estimation. And when a man shall sanctify his house to be holy unto Yahuwah, then the priest shall estimate it, whether it be good or bad. As the priest shall estimate it, so shall it stand. And if he that sanctified it will redeem his house, then he shall add the fifth part of the money of your estimation unto it, and it shall be his. And if a man shall sanctify unto Yahuwah some part of a field of his possession, then your estimation shall be according to the seed thereof. A omer of barley seed shall be valued at 50 shekels of silver. If he sanctify his field from the year of Jubilee, according to your estimation, it shall stand. But if he sanctify his field after the Jubilee, then the priest shall reckon unto him the money according to the years that remain, even unto the year of Jubilee, and it shall be abated from your estimation. And if he that sanctified the field will in any wise redeem it, then he shall add the fifth part of the money of your estimation unto it, and it shall be assured to him. And if he will not redeem the field, or if he have sold the field to another man, it shall not be redeemed any more. But the field, when it goes out in the Jubilee, shall be holy unto Yahuwah. As a field devoted, the possession thereof shall be the priest's. And if a man sanctify unto Yahuwah a field which he has bought, which is not of the fields of his possession, then the priest shall reckon unto him the worth of your estimation, even unto the year of the Jubilee. And he shall give your estimation in that day as a holy thing unto Yahuwah. In the year of the Jubilee, the field shall return unto him of whom it was bought, even to him to whom the possession of the land did belong. And all your estimation shall be according to the shekel of the sanctuary. 20 gerahs shall be the shekel. Only the firstling of the beasts, which should be Yahuwah's firstling, no man shall sanctify it, whether it be ox or sheep. It is Yahuwah's. And if it be of an unclean beast, and he shall redeem it according to your estimation, and shall add a fifth part of it thereto, or if it be not redeemed, then it shall be sold according to your estimation. Notwithstanding, no devoted thing that a man shall devote unto Yahuwah of all that he has, both of man and beast, and of the field of his possession, shall be sold or redeemed. Every devoted thing is most holy unto Yahuwah. None devoted, which shall be devoted of men, shall be redeemed, but shall surely be put to death. And all the tithe of the land, whether of the seed of the land, or of the fruit of the tree, is Yahuwah's. It is holy unto Yahuwah. And if a man shall at all redeem aught of his tithes, he shall add thereto the fifth part thereof. And concerning the tithe of the herd, or of the flock, even of whatsoever passes under the rod, the 10th shall be holy unto Yahuwah. He shall not search whether it be good or bad, neither shall he change it. And if he change it at all, then both it and the change thereof shall be holy. It shall not be redeemed.
These are the commandments which Yahuwah commanded Moshe for the children of Yisrael in Mount Sinai.
Children of Yasharel, which offered burnt offerings and sacrificed peace offerings of oxen unto Yahuwah. And Moshe took half of the blood and put it in a basin, and half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar. And he took the Sefer of the covenant and read it in the audience of the people, and they said, all that Yahuwah has said, we will do, and be obedient. Moshe took the blood and sprinkled it on the people and said, Behold, the blood of the covenant, which Yahweh has cut with you concerning these words. Then went up Moshe and Aharon and Nadav and Evahu and 70 of the elders of Yasharel, and they saw the Elohai of Yasharel, and there was under his feet, as it were, a paved work of sapphire stone, and as it were the body of heaven in his clearness. And upon the nobles of the children of Yasharel he laid not his hand. Also they saw Elohim, and did eat and drink. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, Come up to me into the mount, and be there, and I will give you sapphire stones, and a Torah, and commandments which I have written, that you may teach them. And Moshe rose up, and his minister Yahusha, and Moshe went up into the mount of Elohim. And he said unto the elders, Tarry ye here for us, until we come again unto you. And behold, Aharon and Hori are with you. If any man have any matters to do, let him come unto them. And Moshe went up into the mountain, and a cloud covered the mount, and the glory of Yahweh abode upon Mount Sinai. And the cloud covered it 6 days, and the 7th day he called unto Moshe out of the midst of the cloud. And in the sight of the glory of Yahweh, and the sight of the glory of Yahweh was like devouring fire on the top of the mount in the eyes of the children of Yasharel. And Moshe went into the midst of the cloud, and got him up into the mount, and Moshe was in the mount 40 days and 40 nights. Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying, Speak unto the children of Yasharel, that they bring me an offering of every man that gives it willingly with his heart. Ye shall take my offering. And this is the offering which ye shall take of them: gold, silver, and brass, and blue and purple and scarlet and fine linen, and goat's hair, and ram's skin dyed red, and badger skin, and shittim wood, oil for the light, spices for anointing oil, and for sweet incense, onyx stones, and stones to be set in the ephod and the breastplate. And let them make me a sanctuary, that I may dwell among them, according to all that I show you, after the pattern of the tabernacle, and the pattern of all the instruments thereof, even so shall ye make it. And they shall make an ark of shittim wood, 2 cubits and a half shall it be the length thereof, and a cubit and a half the breadth thereof, and a cubit and a half the height thereof. And you shall overlay it with pure gold. Within and without shall ye overlay it, and shall make upon it a crown of gold round about. And you shall cast 4 rings of gold for it, and put them in the 4 corners thereof. And 2 rings shall be in the one side of it, and 2 rings on the other side of it. And you shall make staves of shittim wood, and overlay them with gold. And you shall put the staves in the rings by the sides of the ark, and that the ark may be borne with them. The staves shall be in the rings of the ark, and they shall not be taken from it. You shall put into the ark the testimony which I shall give you. And you shall make a mercy seat of pure gold. 2 cubits and a half shall be the length thereof, a cubit and a half the breadth thereof. And you shall make 2 cherubim of gold of beaten work shall you make them in the 2 ends of the mercy seat. and make one cherubim on the one end, and the other cherub on the other end, even of the mercy seat shall ye make the cherubim on the two ends thereof. And the cherubim shall stretch forth their wings on high, covering the mercy seat with their wings, and their faces shall look one to another. Toward the mercy seat shall the faces of the cherubim be. And you shall put the mercy seat above the ark, and in the ark you shall put the testimony that I shall give you. And there I will meet with you, and I will commune with you from above the mercy seat, from between the two cherubim which are upon the ark of the testimony, and of all the things which I will give you in commandment unto the children of Yasharel. You shall also make a table of shittim wood. 2 cubits shall be the length thereof, a cubit the breadth thereof, and a cubit and a half the height thereof. And you shall overlay it with pure gold, and make thereto a crown of gold round about. And you shall make unto it a border of a handbreadth round about, and you shall make a gold crown to the border thereof round about. And you shall make for it 4 rings of gold, and put the 4 rings on the 4 corners that are on the 4 feet thereof. Over against the border shall the rings be for the places for the staves to bear the table. And you shall make the staves of shittim wood, and overlay them with gold, that the table be borne with them. And you shall make the dishes thereof, and the spoons thereof, and the covers thereof, and the bowls thereof, to cover withal of pure gold shall you make them. And you shall set upon the table showbread before me always. And you shall make a menorah, 7-branch. You shall make a menorah of pure gold, of beaten work shall the menorah be made. His shaft and his branches, and his bowls, and his knops, and his flowers shall be of the same. And 6 branches shall come out of the sides of it, 3 branches of the menorah out of the one side, and 3 branches of the menorah out of the other side. 3 bowls made like unto almonds, with a knop and a flower in one branch, and 3 bowls made like almonds in the other branch, with a knop and a flower, so that the 6 branches that come out of the menorah, so that in the 6 branches that are come out of the menorah, and in the menorah shall be 4 bowls made like unto almonds, with their knops and their flowers, and there shall be a knop under 2 branches of the same, and a knop under 2 branches of the same, and a knop under 2 branches of the same, according to the 6 branches that proceed out of the menorah. Their knops and their branches shall be of the same, all of it shall be one beaten work of pure gold. And you shall make the 7 lamps thereof, that they shall light the lamps, and they shall light the lamps thereof, that they may give light over against it. And the tongs thereof, and the snuff dishes thereof, shall be of pure gold. Of a talent of pure gold shall he make it, with all the vessels. And look that you make them after their pattern, which was shown you in the mount. Adam,
Thank you, brother.
You want me to stop?
Yeah, we're gonna have Justin take over here. Thank you, brother.
Moreover, you shall make it the tabernacle with 10 curtains of fine twined linen, and blue and purple and scarlet, with cherubim of cunning work shall you make them. And the length of one curtain shall be 8 and 20 cubits, and the breadth of one curtain 4 cubits, and every one of the curtains shall have one measure. The 5 curtains shall be coupled together one to another, and the other 5 curtains shall be coupled one to another. You shall make the loops of blue upon the edge of one of the curtain from the selvage in the coupling, and likewise shall you make it in the uttermost edge of another curtain in the coupling of the second. 50 loops shall you make in the one curtain, and 50 loops shall you make in the edge of the curtain that is in the coupling of the second, that the loops may take hold one of another. And you shall make 50 taches of gold, and couple up the curtains together with the taches, and shall be one tabernacle. And you shall make curtains of gold of goat's hair to be a covering upon the tabernacle. 11 curtains shall you make it. The length of one curtain shall be 30 cubits, and the breadth of one curtain 4 cubits, and the 11 curtains shall be all of one measure. And you shall couple at the 5 curtains by themselves, and at the 6 curtains by themselves, and shall double at the 6th curtain in the forefront of the tabernacle. And you shall make 50 loops on the edge of one curtain that is outmost in the coupling, and 50 loops in the edge of the curtain which couples the second. And you shall make it 50 taches of brass, and put the taches into the loops, and couple with the tent together, that it may be one. And the remnant that remains of the curtains of the tent, the half curtain that remains, shall hang over the back side of the tabernacle. And a cubit on one side and a cubit on the other side of that which remains is the length of the curtains of the tent. It shall hang over the sides of the tabernacle on the side, and on the side to cover it. And you shall make a covering for the tent of ram skins dyed red, and a covering above the badger skins. And you shall make it the boards of the tabernacle of shittim wood standing up. 10 cubits shall be the length of a board, and a cubit and a half shall be the breadth of one board. 2 tenons shall there be in one board, set in order one against another. Thus shall you make for all the boards of the tabernacle. And you shall make it the boards for the tabernacle, 20 boards on the south side southward. And you shall make 40 sockets of silver under the 20 boards, 2 sockets under one board for 2 tenons, and 2 sockets under another board for 2 tenons. And for the second side of the tabernacle on the north side there shall be 20 boards. And the 40 sockets of silver, 2 sockets under one board, and 2 sockets under another board. And for the sides of the tabernacle westward you shall make 6 boards. And 2 boards shall you make for the corners of the tabernacle in the 2 sides. And they shall be coupled together beneath, and they shall be coupled together above the head of it unto one ring. Thus shall it be for them both, and they shall be for the 2 corners. And they shall make 8 boards in their sockets of silver, 16 sockets, 2 sockets under one board, and 2 sockets under another board. And you shall make bars of shittim wood, 5 for the boards of one side of the tabernacle, and the 5 bars of the boards of the other side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the boards of the other side of the tabernacle, for the 2 sides westward. And the middle bar in the midst of the board shall reach from one end to end. And you shall overlay the boards with gold, and make it the rings of gold for places for the bars. And you shall overlay it the bars with gold. And you shall rear up at the tabernacle according to the fashion thereof which was showed you in the mount. And you shall make a veil of blue and purple and scarlet and fine twined linen of cunning work, and cherubim shall it be made. Sorry guys, Exodus chapter 26. Or no, I'm still on it, sorry. You shall hang it upon the 4 pillars of shittim wood overlaid with gold. Their hooks shall be of gold upon the 4 sockets of silver. And you shall hang up at the veil under the taches, that you may bring in thither within the veil the ark of the testimony. And the veil shall divide unto you between the holy place and the most holy. And you shall put at the mercy seat upon the ark of the testimony in the most holy place. And you shall set at the table without the veil, and at the menorah 7 branches candlestick over against the table on the side of the tabernacle toward the south. And you shall put the table on the north side. And you shall make a hanging for the door of the tent of blue and purple and scarlet and fine twined linen, wrought with needlework. And you shall make for the hanging 5 pillars of shittim wood, and overlay them with gold, and their hooks shall be of gold. And you shall cast 5 sockets of brass for them. Exodus chapter 27. And you shall make it an altar of shittim wood, 5 cubits long and 5 cubits broad. The altar shall be 4 square, and the height thereof shall be 3 cubits. And you shall make the horns of it upon the 4 corners thereof. His horns shall be of the same, and you shall overlay with brass. And you shall make his pans to receive his ashes, and his shovels, and his basins, and his flesh hooks, and his fire pans. All the vessels thereof you shall make of brass. And you shall make it for a grate of network of brass, and upon the net shall you make 4 brazen rings in the 4 corners thereof. And you shall put it under the compass of the altar beneath, that the net may be even to the midst of the altar. And you shall make staves for the altar, staves of shittim wood, and overlay them with brass. and the stave shall be put into the rings, and the stave shall be upon the two sides of the altar to bear it. Hollow with board shall you make it, as it is showed to you in the mount, so shall they make it. And you shall make it the court of the tabernacle for the south side southward. There shall be hangings for the court of fine twined linen of 100 cubits long for one side. And the 20 pillars thereof, and the 20 sockets shall be of brass, and hooks of the pillars and their fillets shall be of silver. And likewise for the north side, in the length there shall be hangings of 100 cubits long, and its 20 pillars, and the 20 sockets of brass, the hooks of the pillars and their fillets of silver. And for the breadth of the court on the west side shall be hangings of 50 cubits, their pillars 10, and their sockets 10. And the breadth of the court on the east side eastward shall be 50 cubits. The hangings of one side of the gate shall be 15 cubits, their pillars 3, and their sockets 3. And on the other side shall be hanging 15 cubits, their pillars 3, and their sockets 3. And for the gate of the court shall be a hanging of 20 cubits, of blue and purple and scarlet, and fine twined linen, wrought with needlework, and their pillars shall be 4, and their sockets 4. All the pillars round about the court shall be filleted with silver, their hooks shall be of silver, and their sockets of brass. The length of the court shall be 100 cubits, and the breadth 50 everywhere, and the height 5 cubits of fine twined linen, and their sockets of brass. All the vessels of the tabernacle, and all the service thereof, and all the pins thereof, and all the pins of the court shall be of brass. And you shall command it the children of Yashrael that they bring you pure olive oil, beaten for the light, to cause the lamp to burn always. In their tabernacle of the assembly without the veil, which is before the testimony, Aaron and his sons shall order it from evening to morning before Yahweh. It shall be a statute forever unto their generations on the behalf of the children of Yashrael. Exodus 28. And take unto you Aaron your brother, and his sons with him, from among the children of Yashrael, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office, even Aaron, Nadab, Abiyahu, Eleazar, Ithamar, Aaron's sons. And you shall make holy garments for Aaron your brother, for glory and for beauty. And you shall speak unto all that are wise-hearted, whom I have filled with the Ruach Chokamah, that they may maketh Aaron's garments to consecrate him, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office. And these are the garments which they shall make: a breastplate, an ephod, and a robe, and a broidered coat, a turban, and a belt. And they shall make holy garments for Aaron your brother and his sons, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office. And they shall take it gold, and it blue, and it purple, and it scarlet, and it fine linen. And they shall make it an ephod of gold, of blue, and of purple, of scarlet, and fine twined linen, with cunning work. It shall have the 2 shoulder pieces thereof joined at the 2 edges thereof, and so it shall be joined together. And the belt of the ephod which is upon it shall be of the same, according to the work thereof, even of gold, of blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine twined linen. And you shall take at the 2 onyx stones, and grave on them the names of the children of Yashrael, 6 of their names on one stone, and at the other 6 names of the rest on the other stone, according to their birth. With the work of an engraver in stone, like the engravings of a signet, shall you engrave the 2 stones with the names of the children of Yashrael. You shall make them to be set in ouches of gold. And you shall put the 2 stones upon the shoulders of the ephod for stones of memorial unto the children of Yashrael. And Aaron shall beareth the names before Yahweh upon his 2 shoulders for memorial. And you shall make ouches of gold, and 2 chains of pure gold at the ends. Of wreathen work shall you make them, and fasten the wreathen chains to the ouches. And you shall make the breastplate of judgment, with cunning work. After the work of the ephod you shall make it, of gold, of blue, and of purple, and of scarlet, and of fine twined linen shall you make it. 4 square it shall be, being doubled. A span shall be the length thereof, and a span shall be the breadth thereof. And you shall set in it the setting of stones, even 4 rows of stones. The first row shall be sardis, a topaz, and a carbuncle. This shall be the first row. And the second row shall be an emerald, a sapphire, and a diamond. And the third row a ligure, an agate, and an amethyst. And the fourth row a beryl, an onyx, and a jasper. They shall be set in gold in their enclosings. And the stones shall be with the names of the children of Yashrael, 12 according to their names, like the engravings of a signet. Everyone with his name shall they be according to their 12 tribes. You shall make upon them the breastplate chains of the ends of wreathen work of pure gold. And you shall make upon the breastplate 2 rings of gold. And you shall put at the 2 rings on the 2 ends of the breastplate. And you shall put at the 2 wreathen chains of gold in the 2 rings which are on the ends of the breastplate. And at the other 2 ends of the 2 wreathen chains you shall fasten in the 2 ouches, and put on the shoulder pieces of the ephod before it. And you shall make 2 rings of gold, and you shall put them upon the 2 ends of the breastplate and the border thereof, which is in the side of the ephod inward. And 2 other rings of gold you shall make, and shall put them on the 2 sides of the ephod underneath, toward the forepart thereof, over against the other coupling thereof, above the belt of the ephod. And they shall bind at the breastplate by the rings thereof unto the rings of the ephod, which is a lace of blue, that it may be above the belt of the ephod, and that the breastplate be not loosed from the ephod. And Aaron shall beareth the names of the children of Yashrael in the breastplate of judgment upon his heart, when he goes in unto the holy place for memorial before Yahweh continually. And ye shall put in the breastplate of judgment at the Urim and at the Tumiim, and they shall be upon Aaron's heart, when he goes in before Yahweh. And Aaron shall bear at the judgment of the children of Yashrael upon his heart before Yahweh continually. And ye shall make it the robe of the ephod all blue, and there shall be a hole in the top of it. In the midst thereof it shall have a binding of woven work round about the whole of it, as it were the whole of a harbergen, that it be not rent. And beneath upon the hem of it ye shall make pomegranate, 8 of blue, and of purple, and of scarlet, round about the hem thereof, and bells of gold between them round about. A golden bell and a pomegranate, a golden bell and a pomegranate upon them of the robe round about. And it shall be upon Aaron to minister, and his sound shall be heard when he goes out into the holy place before Yahweh, and when he comes out, that he die not. And you shall make a plate of pure gold, engrave upon it like the engravings of a signet, Kodesh Yahweh, holiness unto Yahweh. And you shall put it on a blue lace, that it may be upon the turban. Upon the forefront of the turban it shall be. And it shall be upon Aaron's forehead, that Aaron may beareth the iniquity of the holy things, which the children of Yashrael shall hallow in all their holy gifts, and shall be always upon the forehead, that they may be accepted before Yahweh. And ye shall embroider the coat of fine linen, and ye shall make the turban of fine linen, and ye shall make the belt of needlework. And for Aaron's son ye shall make coats, and ye shall make for them belts, and bonnets ye shall make for them, for glory and for beauty. And ye shall put them upon Aaron your brother, and at his sons with him, and shall anoint them, and consecrate them, and sanctify them, that they may minister unto me in the priest office. And ye shall make them linen breeches to cover their nakedness from the loins, even unto the thighs they shall reach. And they shall be upon Aaron and upon his sons, when they come in unto me, and unto the tabernacle of the assembly, or when they come near unto the altar to minister in the holy place, that they bear not iniquity, and die. It shall be a statute forever unto him and his seed after him. Exodus 29. And this is the thing that ye shall do unto them that hallow them, to minister unto me in the priest office. Take 1 young bullock, and 2 rams without blemish, and matzah cakes tempered with oil, and matzah wafers anointed with oil, of wheaten flour shall you make them. Ye shall put them into 1 basket, and bring them in the basket, with the bullock and the 2 rams. And at Aaron and his sons ye shall bring unto the door of the tabernacle of the assembly, and ye shall wash them with water. And ye shall take at the garments, and put upon it Aaron the coat, and at the robe of the ephod, and at the ephod, and at the breastplate, and gird him with the belt of the ephod. And ye shall put the turban upon his head, and putteth the holy crown upon the turban. Then shall you take the anointing oil, and pour it upon his head, and anoint him. And ye shall bring his sons, and put coats upon them, and ye shall gird them with belts, Aaron and his sons, and put the bonnets on them. And the priest's office shall be theirs for a perpetual statute, and ye shall consecrate Aaron and his sons. And ye shall cause the bullock to be brought before the tabernacle of the assembly, and Aaron and his sons shall put their hands upon the head of the bullock. And ye shall kill the bullock before Yahweh, by the door of the tabernacle of the assembly. And ye shall take of the blood of the bullock, and put it upon the horns of the altar with your finger, and poureth the blood beside the bottom of the altar. And ye shall take at the fat that covers the inwards, and at the caul that is above the liver, and at the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, and burn them upon the altar. But at the flesh of the bullock, and at his skins, and at his dung, ye shall burn with fire without the camp. It is an offering. It is a sin offering. You shall also take it 1 ram, and Aaron and his sons shall put their hands upon the head of the ram, and ye shall slay the ram, and ye shall take his blood, and sprinkle round about the altar. And ye shall cut the ram in pieces, and wash inwards of him, and his legs, and put them in unto his pieces, and unto his head. And ye shall burn it the whole ram upon the altar. It is a burnt offering unto Yahweh. It is a sweet savor, an offering made by fire unto Yahweh. And ye shall take the other ram, and Aaron and his sons, and shall put their hands upon the head of the ram. Then shall you kill the ram, and take of his blood, and put it upon the tip of the right ear of Aaron, and upon the tip of the right ear of his sons, and upon the thumb of their right hand, and upon the great toe of the right foot, and sprinkle with the blood upon the altar round about. And ye shall take of the blood that is upon the altar, and of the anointing oil, and sprinkle it upon Aaron, and upon his garments, and upon his sons, and upon the garments of his sons with him. And he shall be hallowed, and his garments, and his sons' garments with him. Also you shall take of the ram the fat and the rump, at the fat that covers the inwards, and at the caul above the liver, and at the 2 kidneys, and at the fat that is upon them, and at the right shoulder, for it is a ram of consecration. and 1 loaf of bread, and 1 cake of oiled bread, and 1 wafer out of the basket of matzah that is before Yahweh. And you shall put all in the hands of Aaron and in the hands of his sons, and shall wave them for a wave offering before Yahweh. And ye shall receive them on their hands, and burn them upon the altar for a burnt offering, for a sweet savor before Yahweh. It is an offering made by fire unto Yahweh. And ye shall take it the breast of the ram of Aaron's consecration, and wave it for a wave offering before Yahweh, and it shall be your part. And ye shall sanctify it the breast of the wave offering, and at the shoulder of the heave offering which is waved, and which is heaved up, of the ram of the consecration, even of that which is for Aaron, and of that which is for his sons. And it shall be Aaron and his sons by a statute forever from the children of Yashrael, for it is a heave offering. It shall be a heave offering from the children of Yashrael of the sacrifice of their peace offerings, even their heave offering unto Yahweh. And the holy garments of Aaron shall be his sons after him, to be anointed therein, and to be consecrated in them. And that son that is priest in his stead shall put them on 7 days, when he comes into the tabernacle of the assembly to minister in the holy place. And ye shall take it the ram of the consecration, and seethe his flesh in the holy place. And Aaron and his sons shall eat the flesh of the ram, and eat the bread that is in the basket by the door of the tabernacle of the assembly. And they shall eat those things there wherewith the atonement was made, to consecrate and to sanctify them, but a stranger shall not eat thereof, because they are holy. And if aught of the flesh of the consecrations or of the bread remain unto the morning, then ye shall burn it the remainder with fire. It shall not be eaten, because it is holy. And thus shall you do unto Aaron and to his sons, according to all things which I have commanded you. 7 days shall you consecrate them. And ye shall offer every day a bullock for a sin offering for atonement, and ye shall cleanse the altar when you have made an atonement for it. Ye shall anoint it to sanctify it. 7 days ye shall make an atonement for the altar and sanctify it, and it shall be an altar most holy. Whatsoever touches the altar shall be holy. Now this is that which ye shall offer upon the altar: 2 lambs of the first year, day by day continually. If the one lamb you shall offer in the morning, and the other lamb you shall offer at the evening. And with the one lamb 1/10 deal of flour, mingled with the 4th part of hin beaten oil, and the 4th part of a hin of wine for a drink offering. And at the other lamb you shall offer at evening, and shall do thereto according to the meat offering of the morning, and according to the drink offering thereof for a sweet savor, an offering made by fire unto Yahweh. This shall be a continual burnt offering throughout your generations at the door of the tabernacle of the assembly before Yahweh, where I will meet you, to speak there unto you. And there I will meet with the children of Yashrael, and the tabernacle shall be sanctified by my glory. And I will sanctify at the tabernacle of the assembly, and at the altar I will sanctify also both Aaron and his sons to minister to me in the priest office. And I will dwell among the children of Yashrael, and I will be their Elohim. And they shall know that I am Yahweh Elohim, that brought them forth out of the land of Mizraim, that I may dwell among them. I am Yahweh Elohim. And you shall make an altar to burn incense upon it. Of shittim wood shall you make it. A cubit shall be the length thereof. Oh, sorry, guys. This is Exodus 30. Sorry. And you shall make an altar to burn incense upon. Of shittim wood shall you make it. A cubit shall be the length thereof, and a cubit the breadth thereof. 4 squares shall it be, and 2 cubits shall be the height thereof, and the horns thereof shall be of the same. You shall overlay it with pure gold at the top thereof, and at the sides thereof round about it, and the horns thereof. And you shall make unto it a crown of gold round about. And 2 golden rings shall you make to it under the crown of it. By the 2 corners thereof upon the 2 sides of it shall you make it. And they shall be for places for the staves to bear it withal. And you shall make it the staves of shittim wood, and overlay them with gold. And you shall put it before the veil that is by the ark of the testimony, before the mercy seat that is over the testimony, where I will meet you. And Aaron shall burn therein sweet incense every morning when he dresses the lamps, and he shall burn incense upon it. And when Aaron lights the lamps at evening, he shall burn incense upon it, a perpetual incense before Yahweh throughout your generations. Ye shall offer no strange incense thereon, nor burnt sacrifice, nor meat offering, neither shall ye pour drink offering thereon. And Aaron shall make an atonement upon the horns of it once in a year without the blood of the sin offering of atonements. Once in a year shall he make atonement upon it throughout your generations. It is most holy unto Yahweh. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying, when you take it the sum of the children of Yashrael after their number, then shall they give every man a ransom for his soul unto Yahweh. When you number them, that there be no plague among them, when you number them. This shall they give. Every one that passes among them that are numbered, half a shekel after the shekel of the sanctuary. The shekel is 20 gerahs. A half shekel shall be the offering of Yahweh. Every one that passes among them that are numbered, from 20 years old and above, shall give an offering unto Yahweh. The rich shall not give more, and the poor shall not give less. than half a shekel, when they giveth the offering unto Yahweh, to make an atonement for your souls. And ye shall taketh the atonement money of the children of Yashrael, and shall appoint it for the service of the tabernacle of the assembly, that it may be a memorial unto the children of Yashrael before Yahweh, to make an atonement for your souls. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying, Then shall you also make a laver of brass, and his foot also of brass, to wash withal. And you shall put it between the tabernacle of the assembly of the altar, and you shall put water therein. For Aaron and his sons shall wash their hands, and at their feet thereat. When they go into the tabernacle of the assembly, they shall wash with water, that they die not. Or when they come near to the altar to minister to burnt offering made by fire unto Yahweh. So they shall wash their hands and their feet, that they die not. And it shall be a statute forever to them, even to him and to his seed throughout their generations. Moreover, Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying, Take also unto you principal spices of pure myrrh, 500 shekels, and of sweet cinnamon half so much, even 250 shekels, and of sweet calamus 250 shekels, and of cassia 500 shekels, after the shekel of the sanctuary, and of oil olive a hin. And you shall make it an oil of holy ointment, an ointment compound after the art of the apothecary. It shall be a holy anointing oil. And you shall anoint at the tabernacle of the assembly therewith, at the ark of the testimony, and at the table, and at all the vessels, and at the menorah, and at his vessels, and at the altar of incense, and the altar of burnt offerings with all his vessels, and the laver, and at his foot. And you shall sanctify them, that they may be most holy. Whatsoever touches them shall be holy. And you shall anoint Aaron and his sons, and consecrate them, that they may minister unto me in the priest's office. And you shall speak unto the children of Yashrael, saying, This shall be a holy anointing oil unto me throughout your generations. Upon man's flesh shall it not be poured, neither shall you make any other like it, after the composition of it. It is holy, and it shall be holy unto you. Whosoever compounds any like it, or whosoever puts any of it upon a stranger, shall even be cut off from his people. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, Take unto you sweet spices, stacte, and oncha, and galbanum, and these sweet spices with pure frankincense, of each shall be a like weight. And ye shall make it a perfume, a confection, after the art of the apothecary, tempered together, pure and holy. And ye shall beat some of it very small, and put of it before the testimony in the tabernacle of the assembly, where I will meet with you. It shall be unto you most holy. And as for the perfume which ye shall make, ye shall not make to yourselves according to the composition thereof. It shall be unto you holy for Yahweh. Whosoever shall make like unto that, to smell thereto, shall even be cut off from his people. Exodus 31. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying, See, I have called by the name Bezalel, the son of Uri, the son of Hori, of the tribe of Yehudah, and I have filled him with the Ruach Elohim, in wisdom and in understanding and in knowledge and in all manner of workmanship, to devise cunning works, to work in gold and in silver and in brass, and in the cutting of stones, to set them, and in carving of timber, to work in all manner of workmanship. And behold, I have given with him Aholiab, the son of Achikamach, of the tribe of Dan, and in the hearts of all that are wise-hearted I have put wisdom, that they may make it all that I have commanded you. At the tabernacle of the assembly, and at the ark of the testimony, and at the mercy seat that is thereupon, and at the furniture of the tabernacle, and at the table, and at his furniture, and at the pure menorah, with all his furniture, and at all the altar of incense, and at the altar of burnt offering, with all his furniture, and at the laver, and at his foot, and at the cloths of service, and at the holy garments for Aaron the priest, and at the garments of his sons to minister in the priest's office, and at the anointing oil, and at the sweet incense for the holy place, according to all that I have commanded you, shall they do. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying, Speak also unto the children of Yashrael, saying, Truly, if my Shabbath ye shall guard, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations, that ye may know that I am Yahweh Mekadeshim, Yahweh, who sanctifies you. Ye shall guard it the Shabbath, therefore, for it is holy unto you. Everyone that defiles it shall surely be put to death. For whosoever does any work therein, that soul shall be cut off from among his people. 6 days may work be done, but in the seventh it is a Shabbath of rest, holy to Yahweh. Whosoever does any work in the Shabbath, he shall surely be put to death. Wherefore the children of Yashrael shall guard it the Shabbath, to keep it the Shabbath throughout their generations, for a perpetual covenant. It is a sign between me and the children of Yashrael forever. For in 6 days Yahweh made the heavens and the earth, and on the seventh day he rested and was refreshed. And he gave unto Moshe, when he had made an end of communing with him upon the Mount Sinai, 2 sapphires of testimony, sapphire stones, written with the finger of Elohim. Exodus 32. And when the people saw that Moshe delayed to come down out of the mount, the people gathered themselves together unto Aaron and said unto him, Up, make us Elohim, which shall go before us. For as for this Moshe, the man that brought us up out of the land of Mitzrayim, we know not what has become of him. And Aaron said unto them, Break off the golden earrings which are in the ears of your women, and of your sons, and of your daughters, and bring them unto me. And all the people broke off at the golden earrings which were in the ears, and brought them unto Aaron. And he received them at their hand, and fashioned it with a graving tool, after he had made it a molten calf. And they said, These be your Elohim, O Yashrael, which brought you up out of the land of Mitzrayim. And when Aaron saw it, he built an altar before it. And Aaron made proclamation, and said, Tomorrow is a feast to Yahweh. And they rose up early on the morrow, and offered burnt offerings, and brought peace offerings. And the people sat down to eat and to drink, and they rose up to play. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, Go, get you down, for your people, which you brought out of the land of Mitzrayim, have corrupted themselves. They have turned aside quickly out of the way which I commanded them. They have made them a molten calf, and have worshipped it, and have sacrificed thereunto, and said, These be your Elohim, O Yashrael, which have brought you up out of the land of Mitzrayim. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, I have seen it this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people. Now therefore let me alone, that my wrath may wax hot against them, and that I may consume them, and will make of you a great nation. And Moshe hath besought Yahweh Eloheinu, and said, Yahweh, why does your wrath wax hot against your people, which have brought you forth out of the land of Mitzrayim with a great power and with a mighty hand? Wherefore should the Mitzrayim speak and say, For mischief did he bring them out, to slay them in the mountains, and to consume them from the face of the earth? Turn from your fierce wrath, and repent of this evil against your people. Remember Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yashrael, your servants, to whom you swore by your own self, and said unto them, I will multiply your seed as the stars of heaven, and all this land that I have spoken of will I give to your seed, and they shall inherit it forever. And Yahweh repented of the evil which he had thought to do unto his people. And Moshe turned and went down from the mount, and the 2 sapphires of testimony were in his hand. The sapphires were written on both their sides, and on one side and on the other were they written. And the sapphires were the work of Elohim, and the writing was the writing of Elohim, graven upon the sapphires. And when Yahusha heard at the noise of the people as they shouted, he said unto Moshe, There is a noise of war in the camp. And he said, It is not the voice of them that shout for mastery, neither is it the voice of them that cry for being overcome, but the noise of them that sing do I hear. And it came to pass, as soon as he came nigh unto the camp, that he saw the calf and the dancing, and Moshe's anger waxed hot. And he cast at the sapphires out of his hands, and broke them beneath the mount. And he took at the calf which he had made, and burned it in the fire, and ground it to powder, and strawed it upon the water, and made the children of Yashrael to drink of it. And Moshe said unto Aaron, What did this people unto you, that you have brought so great a sin upon them? And Aaron said, Let not the anger of my Lord wax hot. You know with the people that they are set on mischief. For they said unto me, Make us Elohim, which shall go before us. For as for this Moshe, the man that brought us up out of the land of Mitzrayim, we know not what has become of him. And I said unto them, Whosoever has any gold, let them break it off. So they gave it me. Then I cast it into the fire, and there came out this calf. And when Moshe saw that the people were naked, for Aaron had made them naked unto their shame among their enemies. Then Moshe stood in the gate of the camp, and said, Who is on Yahweh's side? Let him come unto me. And all the sons of Levi gathered themselves together unto him. And he said unto them, Thus says Yahweh Elohai of Yashrael, Put every man his sword by his side, and go in and out from the gate to gate throughout the camp, and slay every man at his brother, and every man at his companion, and every man at his neighbor. And the children of Levi did according to the word of Moshe, and there fell of the people that day about 3,000 men. For Moshe had said, Consecrate yourselves today to Yahweh, even every man upon his son, and upon his brother, that he may bestow upon you a blessing this day. And it came to pass on the morrow that Moshe said unto the people, Ye have sinned a great sin, and now I will go up unto El Yahweh. Perchance I shall make an atonement for your sin. And Moshe returned unto El Yahweh and said, O this people have sinned a great sin, and have made them Elohai of gold. Yet now if you will forgive their sin, and if not, blot me, I pray you, out of the zephyr which you have written. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, Whosoever has sinned against me, him will I blot out of my zephyr. Therefore now go, lead the people unto the place which I have spoken unto you. Behold, my angel shall go before you, Nevertheless, in the day when I will visit their sin upon them. And Yahweh plagued the people because they made it the calf which Aaron had made. Exodus 33. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, Depart and go up hence, you and the people which you have brought up out of the land of Mitzrayim, unto the land which I swore unto Abraham, to Yitzhak, and to Jacob, saying, Unto your seed will I give it. And I will send an angel before you, and I will drive out the Canaanite, and the Amorite, and the Hittite, and the Perizzite, and the Hivi, and the Jebusite, unto the land flowing with milk and honey. For I will not go up in the midst of you, for you are a stiff-necked people, lest I consume you in the way. And when the people heard the evil report, they mourned, and no man did put on him his ornaments. For Yahweh said unto Moshe, Say unto the children of Yashrael, You are a stiff-necked people. I will come up into the midst of you in a moment, consume you. Therefore now put off your ornaments from you, that I may know what to do unto you. And the children of Yashrael stripped themselves of the ornaments by the Mount Horeb. And Moshe took the tabernacle and pitched it without the camp, afar off from the camp, and called it the tabernacle of the assembly. And it came to pass that everyone which sought Yahweh went out unto the tabernacle of the assembly, which was without the camp. And it came to pass when Moshe went out unto the tabernacle that all the people rose up, stood every man at his tent door, and looked after Moshe, until he was gone into the tabernacle. And it came to pass as Moshe entered into the tabernacle, the cloudy pillar descended and stood at the door of the tabernacle. And Yahweh talked with Moshe. And all the people saw the cloudy pillar stand at the tabernacle door, and all the people rose up and worshipped, every man in his tent door. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe face to face, as a man speaks unto a friend. And he turned again into the camp, but his servant Yahusha the son of Nun, a young man, departed not out of the tabernacle. And Moshe said unto Yahweh, See, you say unto me, Bring up this people, and you have not let me know if whom you will send with me. Yet you have said, I know you by name, and you have also found grace in my sight. Now therefore I pray you, if I have found grace in your sight, show me your way, that I may know you, that I may find grace in your sight, and consider that this nation is your people. And he said, My presence shall go with you, and will give you rest. And he said unto them, If your presence go not with me, carry us not up hence. For wherein shall it be known here that I and your people have found grace in your sight? Is it not in that you go with us? So shall we be separated, I and your people, from all the people that are upon the face of the earth. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, I will do with this thing also that I have spoken. For you have found grace in my sight, and I know you by name. And I said, Beseech you, show me your glory. And he said, I will make you all my goodness pass before you, and I will proclaim the name of Yahweh before you, and will be gracious to whometh I will be gracious, and will show mercy on whom I will show mercy. And he said, You cannot seeth my face, for there shall be no man see me and live. And Yahweh said, Behold, there is a place by me, and you shall stand upon a rock. It shall come to pass when my glory passes by, that I will put you in a cleft of the rock, and will cover you with my hand while I pass by. And I will take away with my hand, and you shall see my back parts, but my face shall not be seen. Exodus 34. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, Hew you 2 sapphire stones, like unto the first, and I will write upon these sapphires the words that were in the first sapphires, which you broke. And be ready in the morning, and come up in the morning unto Mount Sinai, and present yourself there to me in the top of the mount. And no man shall come up with you, neither let any man be seen through all the mount, neither let the flocks nor the herds feed before the mount. And he hewed 2 sapphire stones like unto the first. And Moshe rose up early in the morning, and went up to Mount Sinai, as Yahweh had commanded him. And he took in his hand 2 sapphire stones. And Yahweh descended in the cloud, and stood with him there, and proclaimed the name of Yahweh. And Yahweh passed by before him, and proclaimed, Yahweh, Yahweh, El, merciful and gracious, long-suffering and abundant in goodness and truth, keeping mercy for thousands, forgiving iniquity and transgression and sin, that will by no means clear the guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, and upon the children's children unto the 3rd and 4th generation. And Moshe made haste, and bowed his head towards the earth, and worshipped. And he said, If now I have found grace in your sight, O Adonai, let my Adonai, I pray you, go among us, for it is a stiff-necked people, and pardon our iniquity and our sin, and take us for your inheritance. And he said, Behold, I cut a covenant before all your people. I will do wonders, such as have not been done in all the earth, nor in any nation, and all the people among you where you are shall see it the work of Yahweh, for it is a terrible thing that I will do with you. Guardeth that which I command you this day. Behold, I drive you out before it the Amorite, and the Canaanite, and the Hittite, and the Perizzite, and the Hivi, and the Jebusite. Take heed to yourself, lest you cut a covenant with the inhabitants of the land whither you go, lest it be for a snare in the midst of you. But ye shall destroy the altars, and break at their images, and cut down their Asherah poles. For ye shall worship no other El. For Yahweh, Cana Yahweh is jealous, is my name. He is a jealous El. Lest you cut a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, and they go a-whoring after their Elohim, and do sacrifice unto their Elohim, and one call you and eat of his sacrifice, and take of their daughters unto your sons, and their daughters go a-whoring after their Elohim, and make your sons go a-whoring after their Elohim. You shall make no molten of Elohai. The feast of matzah shall you guard. 7 days shall you eat matzah, as I commanded you, in the name of the month of Aviv. For in the month of Aviv you came out of Mitzrayim. All that opens the womb is mine, and every firstling among your cattle, whether ox or sheep, that is male. But the firstling of your ass you shall redeem with the lamb. And if you redeem him not, then you shall break his neck. And the firstborn of your son shall you redeem, and none shall appear before me empty. 6 days you shall work, but on the 7th day you shall rest. In earing time and in harvest you shall rest. And you shall observe the feast of Ketzir, of the first fruits of the wheat harvest, and the feast of Asif, the ingathering at the year's end. Thrice in the year shall all the men's children appeareth before Adonai Yahweh, the Elohai of Yashrael. For I will cast out the nations before you, and enlargeth your borders. Neither shall any man desireth your land when you shall go up to appeareth before Yahweh Elohika thrice in the year. And you shall not offer the blood of my sacrifice of leaven, neither shall the sacrifice of the feast of Pesach be left until the morning. The first of the first fruits of your land you shall bring into the house of Yahweh Elohika. You shall not see the kid in his mother's milk. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, Write these words, for after the tenor of these words I have cut a covenant with you, and with Yashrael. And he was there with Yahweh 40 days and 40 nights. He did neither eat bread nor drink water, and he wrote upon the sapphire the words of the covenant, the 10 Devarim, the commandments. And it came to pass when Moshe came down from Mount Sinai with the 2 sapphire of testimony in Moshe's hand, when he came down from the mount, that Moshe knew not the skin of his face shone while he talked with them. And when Aaron and all the children of Yashrael saw Moshe, behold, the skin of his face shone, and they were afraid to come nigh him. And Moshe called unto them, and Aaron and all the rulers of the assembly returned unto him, and Moshe talked with them. And afterwards all the children of Yashrael came nigh, and he gave them in commandment, if all that Yahweh had spoken with him in Mount Sinai. Until Moshe had done speaking with them, he put a veil on his face. But when Moshe went in before Yahweh to speak with him, he took the veil off until he came out. And he came out and spoke unto the children of Yashrael, which he was commanded. And the children of Yashrael saw the face of Moshe, that the skin of Moshe's face shone. And Moshe putteth the veil upon his face until he went in to speak with him. One moment. Exodus 35. And Moshe gathereth all the assembly of the children of Yashrael together, and said unto them, These are the words which Yahweh has commanded, that ye should do them. 6 days shall work be done, but on the 7th day there shall be to you a holy day, a Shabbath, of rest to Yahweh. Whosoever does work therein shall be put to death. Ye shall kindle no fire throughout your habitations upon the Shabbath. And Moshe spoke unto all the assembly of the children of Yashrael, saying, This is the thing which Yahweh commanded, saying, Take ye from among you an offering unto Yahweh. Whosoever is of a willing heart, let him bringeth the offering of Yahweh, gold and silver and brass, and blue and purple, and scarlet, and fine linen, and goat's hair, and ram skins dyed red, and badger skins, and shittim wood, and oil for the light, and spices for anointing oil, and for the sweet incense, and onyx stones, and stones to be set for the ephod, and for the breastplate. And every wise-hearted among you shall come, and maketh all that Yahweh has commanded. At the tabernacle, at his tent, and at his covering, at his taches, at his boards, at his bars, and at his pillars, and at his sockets, at the ark, and at the staves thereof, with the mercy seat, and at the veil of the covering, at the table, and at the staves, and at all the vessels, and at all the showbread, at the menorah, 7-branch candlestick, also for the light, and at this furniture, and at his lamps, with the oil for light, and at the incense altar, and at the staves, and at his anointing oil, and at the sweet incense, and the hanging, and at the hanging of the door, at the entering of the tabernacle. At the altar of burnt offering, with his brazen grate, at his staves, and at all his vessels, at the laver, and at his foot, and at the hangings of the court, his pillars, and their sockets, and their hanging for the door of the court, the pins of the tabernacle, and the pins of the court, and their cords, the clothes of service to do service in the holy place, the holy garments for Aaron the priest, and the garments of his sons to minister in the priest office. And all the assembly of the children of Yashrael departed from the presence of Moshe, and they came every one whose heart stirred him up, and everyone whom his ruach made willing, and they brought Yahweh's offering to the work of the tabernacle of the assembly, and for all his service, and for the holy garments. And they came both men and women, and as many as were willing-hearted, and brought bracelets and earrings and rings and tablets and all jewels of gold, and every man that offered an offering of gold unto Yahweh. And every man with whom was found blue and purple and scarlet and fine linen and goat's hair and red skins of rams, badger skins brought them. Everyone that did offer an offering of silver and brass broughteth Yahweh's offering, and every man with whom was found shittim wood for any work of the service brought it. And all the women that were wise-hearted did spin with their hands, and brought it that which they had spun, both at the blue and at the purple and at the scarlet and at the fine linen. And all the women whose hearts stirred them up in wisdom spun at goat's hair. And the rulers brought it the onyx stones, and the stones to be set for the ephod and for the breastplate, and at the spice, and at the oil for the light, and for the anointing oil, and for the sweet incense. And the children of Yashreel brought a willing offering unto Yahweh, every man and woman, whose heart made them willing to bring for all manner of work, which Yahweh commanded to be made by the hand of Moshe. And Moshe said unto the children of Yashreel, See, Yahweh is called by name Bezalel, the son of Uri, the son of Hori, of the tribe of Yehudah, and he has filled him with the Ruach Elohim in wisdom and in understanding and in knowledge and all manner of workmanship, and to devise curious works, to work in gold and in silver and in brass, and in the cutting of stones, to set them in carving of wood, to make any manner of cunning work. And he has put it in his heart that he may teach both he and Aholiab, the son of Achikam of the tribe of Dan. Them has he filled with the wisdom of heart, to work all manner of work of the engraver, of the cunning workman, and of the embroiderer, in blue and in purple, in scarlet and in fine linen, and of weaver, even of them that do any work, and of those that devise cunning work. Exodus 36. Then wrought Bezalel and Aholiab, and every wise-hearted man in whom Yahweh will put wisdom and understanding, know how to work with all manner of work for service of the sanctuary, according to all that Yahweh had commanded. And Moshe called Bezalel and Aholiab, and every wise-hearted man in whose heart Yahweh put wisdom, even everyone whose heart stirred him up to come up to work to do it. And they received of Moshe all the offering which the children of Yashreel had brought for the work of the service of the sanctuary, to make it withal. And they brought yet unto him free offerings every morning. And all the wise men that wroughteth all the work of the sanctuary came every man from his work which they had made. And they spoke unto Moshe, saying, The people bring much more than enough for the service of the work which Yahweh has commanded to make. And Moshe gave commandment, and they caused it to be proclaimed throughout the camp, saying, Let neither man nor woman make any more work for the offering of the sanctuary. So the people were restrained from bringing. For the stuff they had was sufficient for all the work to make it, and too much. And every wise-hearted man among them that wrought the work of the tabernacle made 10 curtains of fine twine linen, and blue and purple and scarlet, with cherubim of cunning work made he them. The length of the curtain was 20 and 8 cubits, and the breadth of the curtain 4 cubits. The curtains were all of one size. And he coupled the 5 curtains one into another. And the other 5 curtains he coupled one into another. And he made loops of blue on the edge of one curtain. From the selvage of the coupling likewise he made in the uttermost side of another curtain, in the coupling of the second. 50 loops made he in one curtain, and 50 loops made he in the edge of the curtain, which was in the coupling of the second. The loops held one curtain to another. And he made 50 taches of gold, and coupled the curtains one to another with the taches, so it became one tabernacle. And he made curtains of goat hair for the tent over the tabernacle. 11 curtains he made them. The length of one curtain was 30 cubits, and 4 cubits was the breadth of one curtain. The 11 curtains were of one size. And he coupled at the 5 curtains by themselves, and at the 6 curtains by themselves. And he made 50 loops upon the uttermost edge of the curtain in the coupling, and 50 loops made he upon the edge of the curtain which couples the second. And he made 50 taches of brass to couple with the tent together, that it might be one. And he made a covering for the tent of ram skins dyed red, and a covering of badger skins above that. And he made it the boards of for the tabernacle of shittim wood standing up. The length of the board was 10 cubits, and the breadth of the board was 1 cubit and a half. One board had 2 tenons, equally distant one from another. Thus did he make for all the boards of the tabernacle. And he made it the boards for the tabernacle 20 boards for the south side southward, and 40 sockets of silver he made under the 20 boards, 2 sockets under one board for his 2 tenons, and 2 sockets under another board for his 2 tenons. And for the other side of the tabernacle, which is toward the north corner, he made 20 boards, and there 40 sockets of silver, 2 sockets under one board, and 2 sockets under another board. And for the sides of the tabernacle westward, he made 6 boards. And 2 boards made he for the corners of the tabernacle and the 2 sides. And they were coupled beneath and coupled together at the head thereof to one ring. Thus he did to both of them in both their corners. And there were 8 boards, and their sockets were 16 sockets of silver, under every board 2 sockets. And he made bars of shittim wood, 5 for the boards of the one side of the tabernacle, and the 5 bars for the board of the other side of the tabernacle, and the 5 bars for the boards of the tabernacle for the sides westward. And he made it the middle bar to shoot it through the boards from one end to the other. And he overlaid it the boards with gold, and made it their rings of gold to be places for the bars. And he overlaid the bars with gold. And he made it the veil of blue and purple and scarlet and fine twined linen. With cherubim made it he of cunning work. And he made thereunto 4 pillars of shittim wood, and overlaid them with gold. Their hooks were of gold. And he cast for them 4 sockets of silver. And he made a hanging for the tabernacle door of blue and purple and scarlet and fine twined linen of needlework. And at the 5 pillars of it with at their hooks, and he overlaid their chapters and their fillets with gold, but their 5 sockets were of brass. Exodus 37. And Bezalel made it the ark of shittim wood. 2 cubits and a half was the length of it, and a cubit and a half the breadth of it, and a cubit and a half the height of it. And he overlaid it with pure gold within and without, and made a crown of gold to it round about. And he cast for it 4 rings of gold to be set by the 4 corners of it, even 2 rings upon the side of it, and 2 rings upon the other side of it. And he made the staves of shittim wood and overlaid them with gold. And he put the staves into rings by the sides of the ark, to beareth the ark. And he made the mercy seat of pure gold. 2 cubits and a half was the length thereof, and 1 cubit and a half the breadth thereof. And he made 2 cherubim of gold. Beaten of one piece made he them, and on the 2 ends of the mercy seat. 1 cherub on the end on this side, and another cherub on the other end on that side. Out of the mercy seat made he the cherubim on the 2 ends thereof. And the cherubim spread out their wings on high, and covered with their wings over the mercy seat, with their faces one to another, even to the mercy seatward were their faces of the cherubim. And he made it the table of shittim wood. 2 cubits was the length thereof, and a cubit the breadth thereof, and a cubit and a half the height thereof. And he overlaid it with pure gold, and made thereunto a crown of gold round about it. Also he made thereunto a border of a handbreadth round about, and made a crown of gold for the border thereof round about. And he cast for it 4 rings of gold, and put it the rings upon the 4 corners that were in the 4 feet thereof. Over against the borders were the rings, the places for the staves to beareth the table. And he made it the staves of shittim wood, and overlaid them with gold, and to beareth the table. And he made it the vessels which were upon the table, and at the dishes, and at the spoons, and at his bowls, and at his covers, to cover withal of pure gold. And he made it the menorah of pure gold, of beaten work, madeth the menorah, his shaft, and his branches, bowls, his knops, and his flowers were of the same. And his 6 branches going out of the sides thereof, 3 branches of the menorah out of one side thereof, and 3 branches of the menorah out of the other side thereof. 3 bowls made after the fashion of the almonds in one branch, a knop and a flower, and 3 bowls made like almonds in another branch, a knop and a flower. So throughout the 6 branches going out of the menorah. And in the menorah were 4 bowls made like almonds, his knops and his flowers. And a knop under the 2 branches of the same, and a knop under the 2 branches of the same, and a knop under the 2 branches of the same, according to the 6 branches going out of it. Their knops and their branches were of the same. All of it was one beaten work of pure gold. And he made it his 7 lamps, and his snuffers, and his snuff dishes of pure gold. Of a talent of pure gold made he it, and all the vessels thereof. And he made it the incense altar of shittim wood, for the length of it was a cubit, and the breadth of it a cubit. It was 4 square, and 2 cubits was the height of it. The horns thereof were of the same. And he overlaid it with pure gold, both at the top of it and at the sides thereof round about. And at the horns of it also he made unto it a crown of gold round about. And he made 2 rings of gold for it, under the crown thereof, by the 2 corners of it, upon the 2 sides thereof, to be places for the staves to bear it withal. And he made it the staves of shittim wood, and overlaid them with gold. And he made the holy anointing oil, and the pure incense of sweet spices, according to the work of the apothecary. Exodus 38. And he made it the altar of burnt offerings of shittim wood. 5 cubits was the length thereof, and 5 cubits the breadth thereof. It was 4 square, and 3 cubits the height thereof. And he made the horns thereof, the 4 corners of it. The horns thereof were of the same, and he overlaid it with brass. He made it all the vessels of the altar, at the pots, at the shovels, at the basins, at the flesh hooks, at the fire pans. All the vessels thereof made he of brass. And he made for the altar a brazen grate of network under the compass thereof beneath unto the midst of it. And he cast 4 rings for the 4 ends of the grate of brass, so to be placed for the staves. And he made it the staves of shittim wood and overlaid them with brass. And he put the staves into the rings on the sides of the altar to bear it withal. He made the altar hollow with the boards. And he made it the laver of brass, and at the foot of it of brass, and the looking glasses of the women assembling, which assembled at the door of the tabernacle of the assembly. And he made it the court on the south side southward. The hangings of the court were of fine twined linen and 100 cubits. Their pillars were 20, and their brazen sockets were 20. The hooks of the pillars and their fillets were of silver. And for the north side, the hangings were 100 cubits. Their pillars were 20, and their sockets of brass 20. The hooks of pillars and their fillets of silver. And for the west side were hangings of 50 cubits, their pillars 10, and their sockets 10. The hooks of the pillars and their fillets of silver. And for the east side, eastward 50 cubits. The hangings of one side of the gate were 15 cubits, their pillars 3, and their sockets 3. And for the other side of the court gate, on this hand and on the in that hand were the hangings of 15 cubits, their pillars 3, and their sockets 3. All the hangings of the court round about were of fine twined linen. And the sockets for the pillars were of brass, the hooks of pillars and their fillets of silver, and the overlaying of their chapters of silver. And all the pillars of the court were filleted with silver. And the hanging for the gate of the court was needlework of blue and purple and scarlet and fine twined linen, and 20 cubits was the length, and the height of the breadth was 5 cubits, answerable to the hangings of the court. And their pillars were 4, and their sockets of brass 4, their hooks of silver, and the overlayings of their chapiters and their fillets of silver. And all the pins of the tabernacle and the court round about were of brass. This is the sum of the tabernacle, even of the tabernacle of testimony, as it was counted according to the commandment of Moshe, for the service of the Levine by the hand of Ithamar the son to Aaron the priest. And Bezalel the son of Uri, the son of Hori, of the tribe of Yehudah, madeth all that Yahweh commanded Moshe. And with him was Aholiab, son of Achimach, the tribe of Dan, an engraver and cunning workman, an embroider in blue, and in purple, and in scarlet, and fine linen. All the gold that was occupied for the work, and all the work of the holy place, even the gold of the offering, was 20 and 9 talents, and 730 shekels, after the shekel of the sanctuary. And the silver of them that were numbered of the assembly was 100 talents, and 1,760 shekels, after the shekel of the sanctuary. Of Becca for every man, that is a half shekel, after the shekel of the sanctuary, for everyone that went to be numbered from 20 years old and upward, for 600,000 and 3,550 men. And of the 100 talents of silver were cast at the sockets of the sanctuary, at the sockets of the veil, and 100 sockets of the 100 talents, a talent for a socket. And if of the 1,770 and 5 shekels, he made hooks for the pillars and overlaid their chapiters and filleted them. And the brass of the offering was 70 talents and 2,400 shekels. And therewith he made at the sockets to the door of the tabernacle of the assembly, and at the brazen altar, and at the brazen gate for it, and all the vessels of the altar, and at the sockets of the court round about, and at the sockets of the court gate, and at all the pins of the tabernacle, and all the pins of the court round about. Exodus 39. And of blue and purple and scarlet they made clothes of service to do service in the holy place, and made it the holy garments for Aaron, as Yahweh commanded it with Moshe. And he made it the ephod of gold, blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine twined linen. And they did beat it the gold into thin plates, and cut it into wires, to work it in the blue, and in the purple, and in the scarlet, and in the fine linen with cunning work. They made shoulder pieces for it, to couple it together. By the 2 edges was it coupled together. And the belt of his ephod was that was upon it, was of the same, according to the work thereof, of gold, blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine twined linen, as Yahweh commanded it Moshe. And they wrought at the onyx stones enclosed in ouches of gold, graven as signets are graven with the names of the children of Yashrael. And he put them on the shoulder of the ephod, that they should be stones for a memorial to the children of Yashrael, as Yahweh commanded it Moshe. And he made it the breastplate of cunning work, like the work of an ephod, of gold, blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine twined linen. It was 4 square they made it the breastplate. Double a span was the length thereof, and a span the breadth thereof, being doubled. And they set it in 4 rows of stones. The first row was a sardis, a topaz, and a carbuncle. This was the first row. And the second row, an emerald, and a sapphire, and a diamond. And the third row, a ligure, and an agate, and an amethyst. In the fourth row, a beryl, an onyx, and a jasper. They were enclosed in ouches of gold in their enclosings. And the stones were according to the names of the children of Yashrael, 12 according to their names, like the engravings of a signet, everyone with his name according to the 12 tribes. And they made upon the breastplate chains at the ends of the wreathen work of pure gold, and they made 2 ouches of gold, and 2 gold rings, and put up the 2 rings in the 2 ends of the breastplate. And they put the 2 wreathen chains of gold and the 2 rings on the ends of the breastplate. And at the 2 ends of the 2 wreathen chains they fastened into the 2 ouches and put them on the shoulder pieces of the ephod before it. And they made 2 rings of gold and put them on the 2 ends of the breastplate upon the border of it, which was on the side of the ephod inward. And they made 2 other golden rings and put them on the 2 sides of the ephod underneath toward the fore part of it, over against the other coupling thereof above the belt of the ephod. And they did bind at the breastplate by his rings unto the rings of the ephod with the lace of blue, that it might be above the belt of the ephod, and that the breastplate might not be loosed from the ephod, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And he made it the robe of the ephod of woven work of all blue, and there was a hole in the midst of the robe, as the hole of a habergeon, with a band round about the hole, that it should not be rent. And they made upon the hems of the robe pomegranates of blue and purple and scarlet and twine linen. And they made bells of pure gold, and put the bells between the pomegranates upon the hem of the robe, round about between the pomegranates. A bell and a pomegranate, round about the hem of the robe, to minister in, as Yahweh commanded of Moshe. And they made it the coats of fine linen of woven work for Aaron and for his sons, and at the turban of fine linen, and at goodly bonnets of fine linen, and at linen breeches of fine twine linen. And at the belt of fine twine linen, and a blue and purple and scarlet of needlework, as Yahweh commanded of Moshe. And they made it the plate of the holy crown of pure gold, and wrote upon it writing like to the engravings of a signet, Kodesh El Yahweh. And they tied unto it a lace of blue to fasten it on high upon the turban, as Yahweh commanded of Moshe. Thus was all the work of the tabernacle of the tent of the assembly finished. And the children of Yashrael did according to all Yahweh commanded of Moshe, so did they. And they brought it the tabernacle unto Moshe at the tent, and with all the furniture, and his taches, his boards, his bars, and his pillars, and his sockets, and at the coverings of the ram skins dyed red, and the coverings of the badger skins, and at the veil of the covering, at the ark of the testimony, and at the staves thereof, and at the mercy seat, and the table, and the vessels thereof, and at the showbread, and at the pure menorah, and with the lamps thereof, even with the lamps to be set in order, and with all the vessels thereof, and at the oil for light, and at the golden altar, and at the anointing oil, and the sweet incense, and at the hanging for the tabernacle door. The brazen altar, his grate of brass, at his staves, at all his vessels, at the laver and his foot, at the hangings of the court, at his pillars, at his sockets, at the hanging for the court gate, at his cords, at his pins, and all the vessels of the service of the tabernacle for the tent of the assembly. At the cloths for the service to do service in the holy place, at the holy garments for Aaron the priest, and with his son's garments to minister in the priest's office. According to all that Yahweh commanded of Moshe, so the children of Yashrael madeth all the work. And Moshe did look upon all the work, and behold, they had done it as Yahweh commanded. Even so had they done it, and Moshe blessed them. Exodus 40. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying, On the first day of the first month shall you set up at the tabernacle of the tent of the assembly, and you shall put therein at the ark of the testimony, and cover the ark with it the veil. And you shall bring it the table, and set in order the things that are to be set in order upon it. And you shall bring it the menorah, and light at the lamps thereof. And you shall set at the altar of gold for the incense before the ark of the testimony, and put at the hanging of the door to the tabernacle. And you shall set at the altar of the burnt offering before the door of the tabernacle of the tent of the assembly. And you shall set up the laver between the tent of the assembly and the altar, and shall put water therein. And you shall set up the court round about, and hang up the hangings of the court gate. And you shall take it the anointing oil, and anoint the tabernacle, and with all that is therein, and shall hallow it, with all the vessels thereof, and it shall be holy. And you shall anoint it the altar and the burnt offering, and with all the vessels, and sanctify the altar, and with all shall be an altar most holy. And you shall anoint it the laver, and at his foot, and sanctify it. And you shall bring it Aaron and his sons unto the door of the tabernacle of the assembly, and wash them with water. And you shall put upon it Aaron at the holy garments, and anoint him, and sanctify him, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office. And you shall bring it his sons, and clothe them with coats, and you shall anoint them as you anointed it their father, that they may minister unto me in the priest's office. Their anointing shall surely be an everlasting priesthood throughout their generations. Thus did Moshe according to all that Yahweh commanded him, so did he. Sorry about that. Verse 17. And it came to pass in the first month, in the second year, on the first day of the month, that the tabernacle was reared up. And Moshe reared up at the tabernacle and fastened at the sockets and set up the boards thereof and put at the bars thereof and reared up at the pillars. And he spread abroad at the tent over the tabernacle and put at the covering of the tent up above upon it, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And he took and put at the testimony into the ark and set at the stays of the ark and put at the mercy seat above upon the ark. And he brought the ark into the tabernacle and set up at the veil of the covering and covered the ark of the testimony, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And he put the table into the tent of the assembly upon the side of the tabernacle northward without the veil. And he set the bread in order upon it before Yahweh, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And he put the menorah in the tent of the assembly over against the table on the side of the tabernacle southward. And he lighted the lamps before Yahweh, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And he put the golden altar in the tent of the assembly before the veil. And he burnt sweet incense thereon, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And he set up the hanging at the door of the tabernacle, and he put at the altar of burnt offering by the door of the tabernacle of the tent of the assembly, and offered upon it the burnt offering and at the meat offering, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And he sat at the lever between the tent of the assembly and the altar, and put water there, and washed withal. And Moshe and Aaron and his sons washed at their hands and at their feet thereat, and they went into the tent of assembly, and when they came near unto the altar, they washed, as Yahweh commanded Moshe. And he reared up at the court round about the tabernacle of the altar and set up at the hanging of the court gate. So Moshe finished the work. Then a cloud covered at the tent of the assembly, and the glory of Yahweh filled at the tabernacle. And Moshe was not able to enter into the tent of the assembly, because the cloud abode thereon. And the glory of Yahweh filled at the tabernacle. And when the cloud was taken up over the tabernacle, the children of Yashua went onward in all their journeys. But if the cloud was not taken up, then they journeyed not till the day that it was taken up. The cloud of Yahweh was upon the tabernacle by day, and fire was upon it by night, in the sight of all the house of Yashrael throughout all their journeys. And that's the book of Exodus.
Amen. Thank you, brother. Okay, now we are ready to go into Vayikra, Leviticus. And do a quick screen share. And we'll get started. Leviticus 1:1. And Yahweh called unto Moshe, and spoke unto him out of the tabernacle of the assembly, saying, Speak unto the children of Yashrael, and say unto them, If any man of you bring an offering unto Yahweh, ye shall bring your offering of the cattle, even of the herd and of the flock. If his burnt offering be a burnt sacrifice of the herd, let him offer a male without blemish. He shall offer it of his own voluntary will at the door of the tabernacle of the assembly before Yahweh. And he shall put his hand upon the head of the burnt offering, and it shall be accepted for him to make atonement for him. And he shall kill the bullock before Yahweh. And the priests, Aharon's sons, shall bring the blood, and sprinkle the blood round about upon the altar that is by the door of the tabernacle of the assembly. And he shall flay the burnt offering, and cut it into his pieces. And the sons of Aharon, the priest, shall put fire upon the altar, and lay the wood in order upon the fire. And the priests, Aharon's sons, shall lay the parts, the head, the fat, in order upon the wood that is on the fire which is upon the altar. But his inwards and his legs shall he wash in water, and the priest shall burn all on the altar, to be a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto Yahweh. And if his offering be of the flocks, namely of the sheep or of the goats, for a burnt sacrifice, he shall bring it a male without blemish, and he shall kill it on the side of the altar northward before Yahweh. And the priests, Aharon's son, shall sprinkle his blood round about the altar, upon the altar. And he shall cut it into his pieces, with his head and his fat, and the priest shall lay them in order on the wood that is on the fire which is upon the altar. But when he shall wash the inwards and the legs with water, and the priest shall bring it all, and burn it upon the altar, it is a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto Yahweh. And if the burnt sacrifice for his offering to Yahweh be of fowls, then he shall bring his offering of turtle doves or of young pigeons. And the priest shall bring it unto the altar, and wring off his head, and burn it on the altar, and the blood thereof shall be wrung out at the side of the altar. And he shall pluck away his crop with his feathers, and cast it beside the altar on the east part, by the place of the ashes. And he shall cleave it with the wings thereof, but it shall not divide it asunder. And the priest shall burn it upon the altar, upon the wood that is upon the fire. It is a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire, of a sweet savor unto Yahweh. Leviticus 2. And when any will offer a meat offering unto Yahweh, his offering shall be of fine flour, and he shall pour oil upon it, and put frankincense thereon. And he shall bring it to Aharon's sons, the priests, and he shall take thereout his handful of the flour thereof, and of the oil thereof, with all the frankincense thereof. And the priest shall burn the memorial of it upon the altar, to be an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto Yahweh. And the remnant of the meat offering shall be Aharon's and his sons. It is a thing most holy of the offerings of Yahweh made by fire. And if you bring an oblation of a meat offering baken in the oven, it shall be matzah cakes of fine flour mingled with oil, or matzah wafers anointed with oil. And if your oblation be a meat offering baken in a pan, it shall be of fine flour, fine unleavened, mingled with oil. Fine flour unleavened, mingled with oil. You shall part it in pieces, and pour oil thereon. It is a meat offering. And if your oblation be a meat offering baken in the frying pan, it shall be made of fine flour with oil. And you shall bring the meat offering that is made of these things unto Yahweh. And when it is presented unto the priest, he shall bring it unto the altar. And the priest shall take from the meat offering a memorial thereof, and shall burn it upon the altar. It is an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto Yahweh. And that which is left of the meat offering shall be Aharon's and his sons. It is a thing most holy of the offerings of Yahweh made by fire. No meat offering which ye shall bring unto Yahweh shall be made with leaven. For ye shall burn no leaven, nor any honey, in any offering of Yahweh made by fire. As for the oblation of the firstfruits, ye shall offer them unto Yahweh, but they shall not be burnt on the altar for a sweet savor. And every oblation of your meat offering shall you season with salt, neither shall you suffer the salt of the covenant of your Elohim to be lacking from your meat offering. With all your offerings ye shall offer salt. And if you offer a meat offering of your firstfruits unto Yahweh, you shall offer for the meat offering of your firstfruits green ears of grain dried by the fire, even grain beaten out of full ears. And ye shall put oil upon it, and lay frankincense thereon. It is a meat offering. And the priest shall burn the memorial of it, part of the beaten grain thereof, and part of the oil thereof, with all the frankincense thereof. It is an offering made by fire unto Yahweh. Leviticus chapter 3. And if his oblation be a sacrifice of peace offering, if he offer it of the herd, whether it be a male or female, he shall offer it without blemish before Yahweh. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of his offering, and kill it at the door of the tabernacle of the assembly. And Aharon's sons, the priests, shall sprinkle the blood upon the altar round about. And he shall offer the sacrifice of the peace offering, an offering made by fire unto Yahweh. The fat that covers the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the two kidneys, and the fat that is on them, which is by the flanks, and the caul above the liver, with the kidneys, it shall he take away. And Aharon's sons shall burn it upon the altar, upon the burnt sacrifice, which is upon the wood that is on the fire. It is an offering made by fire of a sweet savor unto Yahweh. And if his offering for a sacrifice of peace offering unto Yahweh be of the flock, male or female, he shall offer it without blemish. If he offer a lamb for his offering, then shall he offer before Yahweh. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of his offering, and kill it before the tabernacle of the assembly. And Aharon's sons shall sprinkle the blood thereof round about upon the altar. And he shall offer of the sacrifice of the peace offering, an offering made by fire unto Yahweh. The fat thereof and the whole rump it shall he take off hard by the backbone, and the fat that covers the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards. And the two kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, which is by the flanks, and the caul above the liver, with the kidneys, it shall he take away. And the priest shall burn it upon the altar. It is the food of the offering made by fire unto Yahweh. And if his offering be a goat, then he shall offer it before Yahweh. And he shall lay his hand up upon the head of it, and kill it before the tabernacle of the assembly. And the sons of Aharon shall sprinkle the blood thereof upon the altar round about. And he shall offer thereof his offering, even an offering made by fire unto Yahweh. The fat that covers the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, which is by the flanks, and the caul above the liver, with the kidneys, it shall he take away. And the priest shall burn them upon the altar. It is a food of the offering made by fire, for a sweet savor. All the fat is Yahweh's. It shall be a perpetual state for your generations throughout all your dwellings, that ye eat neither fat nor blood. Leviticus chapter 4. And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying, Speak unto the children of Yisrael, saying, If a soul shall sin through ignorance against any of the commandments of Yahweh concerning things which ought not to be done, and shall do against any of them, if the priest that is anointed do sin according to the sin of the people, then let him bring for his sin which he has sinned a young bullock without blemish unto Yahweh for a sin offering. And he shall bring the bullock unto the door of the tabernacle of the assembly before Yahweh, and shall lay his hand upon the bullock's head, and kill the bullock before Yahweh. And the priest that is anointed shall take of the bullock's blood, and bring it to the tabernacle of the assembly. And the priest shall dip his finger in the blood, and sprinkle of the blood 7 times before Yahweh, before the veil of the sanctuary. And the priest shall put some of the blood upon the horns of the altar of sweet incense before Yahweh, which is in the tabernacle of the assembly, and shall pour all the blood of the bullock at the bottom of the altar of the burnt offering, which is at the door of the tabernacle of the assembly. And he shall take off from it all the fat of the bullock for the sin offering, the fat that covers the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, which is by the flanks, the caul above the liver, with the kidneys, it shall he take away. As it was taken off from the bullock of the sacrifice of peace offerings, and the priest shall burn them upon the altar of the burnt offering. And the skin of the bullock, and all his flesh, with his head, and with his legs, and his inwards, and his dung, even the whole bullock shall he carry forth without the camp unto a clean place where the ashes are poured out, and burn him on the wood with fire. Where the ashes are poured out shall he be burnt. And if the whole assembly of Yisrael sin through ignorance, and the thing be hid from the eyes of the assembly, and they have done somewhat against any of the commandments of Yahweh concerning things which should not be done, and are guilty, when the sin which they have sinned against it is known, then the assembly shall offer a young bullock for the sin, and bring him before the tabernacle of the assembly. And the elders of the assembly shall lay their hands upon the head of the bullock before Yahweh, and the bullock shall be killed before Yahweh. And the priest that is anointed shall bring of the bullock's blood to the tabernacle of the assembly. And the priest shall dip his finger in some of the blood, and sprinkle it 7 times before Yahweh, even before the veil. And he shall put some of the blood upon the horns of the altar, which is before Yahweh, that is in the tabernacle of the assembly, and shall pour out all the blood at the bottom of the altar, the burnt offering, which is at the door of the tabernacle of the assembly. And he shall take all his fat from him, and burn it upon the altar. And he shall do with the bullock as he did with the bullock for a sin offering. So shall he do with this. And the priest shall make an atonement for them, and it shall be forgiven them. And he shall carry forth the bullock without the camp, and burn him as he burned the first bullock. It is a sin offering for the assembly. When a ruler has sinned, and done somewhat through ignorance against any of the commandments of Yahweh Eloheinu, concerning things which should not be done, and is